we cruise. But I think it's going to be cool.
A very good morning and welcome to a very special edition of the Sports Breakfast Show. Of course, as we'll be bringing you the 2026 edition of the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon right here on NBC. So this, like I said, is a very special edition of Sport Breakfast Show. Do stay tuned for that. Now today we are lacing up for one of Namibia's most anticipated road races, the 2026 Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon, happening out there in Swakopmund, and I'm sure it's going to be a good one from the elite who are taking part, the competitors chasing podium finishes, to everyday runners pushing personal best. We're going to see it all. This event brings together determination, preparation, and the pure challenge of the open road. Now here in studio, we are building up to all the action with two experienced marathon runners. I'm very, very excited. They know exactly what it takes to conquer those long distances. I'm telling you, those kilometers. They may not be on the starting line today over there in Swakop, but their insight, their stories, and their expertise will give us a real inside look at what athletes are preparing for right now. I'm very pleased to be joined by the one and only Gideon. Gideon, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the Sport Breakfast Show.
Good morning and thanks for having me today.
I'm also joined by Peter de Klerk. Good morning. Welcome to the Sport Breakfast Show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Of course, there's so much to talk about with the Coastal Marathon, with the Sanlam Allianz Marathon. Seriously, it's always a big one of the most anticipated in the country, especially just because, I mean, it's the coastal side of things. Gideon, I would like to start with you, just with this year. When you look at this year's edition, what are some of the things that you are anticipating and most excited to see?
I think the prices for this year is quite exciting, and also looking at the turnout. I think we have a big number this year compared to last year, and that just shows how the running family or running community is growing. So those are some of the things I'm actually excited about this year.
I'll just maybe bring it to you, Peter, with the same question. I mean, what is it? Like I said, you guys today, you are not on the starting lineup. We're here, but just maybe from afar, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to seeing?
No, definitely. I'm excited about seeing how the numbers are growing. That's always exciting to see the popularity the sport is taking, and then to see what the elites are going to do today, because they have a carrot in front of their nose. They could win nice prizes today. So I'm excited to see how the elite race is going to turn out as well.
Let's just talk about something generic, because on a serious note, I love the fact that marathons have become such a big thing in Namibia. It's actually a whole thing. You see people traveling to these towns, they're going out just to take part in a marathon, not because it's a small thing, but just the fact that Namibians have really made it this grand thing. Gideon, I'll bring this one to you. What do you think is the reason as to why it has become so popular?
I think from the back of COVID, it has been sort of like a mental shift for most people. People are now moving away from the traditional gyms and then going out into the open where it's free to run on the open road. And also the excitement of just getting a token for you running, that's a medal. So the mind shift has changed since then, and it's very good to see that people are also mentally aware of their personalities through running.
Peter, to bring it to you, I mean, you are a very seasoned athlete yourself, or runner yourself, and just paint the picture for us. If there's currently a viewer watching this and they maybe not really have an understanding of what the average day of a long distance runner looks like, just paint that picture. What are some of the things that, you know, one has to do, one has to incorporate, especially in a town like Swakopmund with weather conditions that are not so, that are not usual, if I may say.
Yes, no. You just have to start. It's the most simple form of exercise. It's the most satisfying form of exercise currently out there. You don't need a lot. You don't need a big team. You can do it alone. You can do it with a team if you want to, but just step out there and get involved. It's an amazing experience. And as I said, you don't need a lot of experience. You can start with a walk. You can start with a 5K. Every distance that you take on is a new experience, from the 5K to the 42 and beyond. And every race in itself has a new challenge. You can beat your last week's 5K, 10K. There's always a challenge out there. And I think that's what makes it amazing, that it never gets boring. There's always something new that you can chase.
I know that we also know that this marathon is not an ordinary marathon. Like I said, it's one of the most anticipated. It's used as qualification for the Comrades and some of those, the Comrades Marathon per se. Just maybe if you could explain all that layout, because I know when it comes to marathons in Namibia, sometimes people don't really understand that there is the fun aspect, obviously, of going out and just checking yourself. But there's also those who are aiming to qualify for events such as the Comrades Marathon.
Yeah, I think one thing we should take note is that for every marathon, there's a cap of how many number of people they can accommodate. And through qualification, that's how the marathon events and organizers can sort of cap the number of people. And also it's not something that's common in Namibia, but let's say in South Africa, for instance, you do have starting times for each batch. So people qualify to sort of get a better starting time for them to either start early and finish early, and then also looking at for them basically trying to challenge themselves from the past results that they have obtained. So it goes along someone basically looking forward to a better time. So yeah.
Peter, you briefly, really nicely touched on the average day of a long distance runner. I mean, somebody running like a 42 kilometers, for example, you know, how important, what role does nutrition and hydration play? Why is that so pivotal to take up?
Yeah, that's actually the most important part of your day and your routine, because you basically, what you eat, what you put in your body recovers you and it prepares you for the next day. So if you put in junk, your results is going to be junk. So that's something that you should really focus on. Be mindful of what you're having during the day. I know we get busy and we forget, especially with just simple things like hydration, drinking enough water during the day. But then it's also not just your water, it's also what you add to your water, your electrolytes, your minerals that you add. And it does get important, because at the end of the day, you do pay the price when you're on that road, the 42. After 30K, all the signs all the junk you put in, it does show.
Okay. Gideon, another thing that we spoke about, just not so, was on the humid weather conditions, or weather conditions in general in the coast. You know, it's not the same here in Windhoek, where we take part in marathons, and the weather does play a role. I don't know, I just want you to talk to us about the coast and running in the coast, especially for a long distance runner. You know, what are some of the things that one will probably have to look out for or might have to expect as opposed to your average, you know, running conditions here in Windhoek or elsewhere in the country?
I think running in the coast is much favorable compared to running in Windhoek, because in Windhoek is a bit humid and dry. You get to feel the heat when you're running. But then running in the coast, you're running at a much lower altitude. There's a sea next to you. There's a cold breeze that's hitting you. So you do get a lot of mileage within your legs because you're still on a cool area. I mean, for people that train in Windhoek, they find it easy when they run in the coast. For people that run in the coast, they are used to it. I think the only thing that changes is the breathing, because then you're used to breathing in humid air here, and when you go there, you didn't declimb it, so your first few kilometers are sort of going to be a challenge, but moving forward sort of gets into the rhythm of things, yeah.
One thing, an aspect that's very important, and not just with marathons, you know, in general, just with sport as well, is mental, you know, health, but also just an understanding that your physical capability is just as important as your mental capability, and that obviously plays a role going into race day even. Peter, just talk to us about what are some of the things that one really needs to do to be in a very good space mentally to be able to take part, especially when the fact that there are different races, right? How does that one prepare for that?
What really helps for me is actually to have a plan, because I think that puts me at ease. If I have a plan, I have a training plan, I have a set goal where I'm working to. I know other people, they work differently. Everyone's wired differently. Some people, they can't stand the structure, they like the freedom. But I think whatever you do, it is a thing that you have to be prepared mentally for it. And while you're on the road, you also get to learn you get to know yourself better. You find a new version of yourself out there, and that's also the other thing. You have to put yourself out there to experience the new version of you and to grow mentally as well. Because if you're a person that's used to giving up, then a marathon is the perfect solution for you, because it puts you in that situation where you have to fight for what you actually want at the end of the day.
Gideon, maybe it's just a kind of a similar question, but maybe to personalize it more from your end, how do you make sure that you prepare for as Gideon mentally for a marathon?
Yeah, no, thanks. It's quite challenging, especially for novice runners. You get to a space where you start questioning your capability. But one thing, and personally I've been grateful for, is that my body can do things. I just need to put my mind to it. And as Peter mentioned, I've always had a plan. Initially, we all over the place with no plan, but once you have a plan, I mean, you focus and you tend to achieve that plan. And you tend to sort of build onto that plan continuously. Because I started with 2 kilometers, and then building on to the 42s, and now also trying to be in Peter's wing and possibly lace up for Comrades next year. Yeah.
You touched at the beginning also on pacing, slightly on that. Just also how prominent is the first 10, 15 minutes for a runner? What role does that play really?
Yeah, the first 10, it's where you have to settle into what you want to achieve. If you have a certain goal, get into that rhythm that you want to run during the race, and then just settle into your pace. It's always fanatic in the beginning. You're feeling really excited. Your adrenaline is pumping, so it's easy also to run too hard and tire yourself out in that first 10, 15 kilometers, and then you have to fight for survival at the end. So it's really important that first 10 kilos to settle, find a comfortable pace, and then from there you fight for it.
Gideon, there's always a point in time during the race that, you know, perhaps it gets very tough. You start to feel it like, oh my goodness, this is getting serious. In a moment like that, what do you do? What is it that needs to switch for you to stay in it?
Yeah. So previously, marathon used to allow people to run with music. So some people tend to get their courage from music, but that has been banned because of our safety issues. I think, especially from the marathon, when you get to 30, or for the 21, when you get to 15, you start having conversations with yourself. So I usually just pat myself on the back, like, you know, I'm in this, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to finish it. And at the end of the finish line, I'll reward myself by getting a medal. So those small
conversations
that I have with myself, little do I know, I'm taking on a kilometer by a kilometer. Yeah.
Peter, how, just to compare the two, especially the main ones, the half marathon and then of course the 40, just what is really the difference if you have to lay out in terms of approach? Is it the same thing? Do you go with the same approach for both of them? Or is there maybe some sort of differences in how runners usually approach these two?
No, I think the approach is the same, because at the end of the day, if you're a 21 athlete and you're a 42 athlete, you both have the same, you have a goal. Either it's a time or to finish in the top 3 or whatever your goal is, same would be your mindset to go out and achieve your goal. So it's not a thing that the 21 would be easier, because your time that you want to run might be harder than what it would have been if you were running the 42, the pace per kilo. So there's always a goal, and there's always a serious mindset that you have to attach to your event. So it's not like one would be easier than the other. It's depending on your goal that day, you'll work just as hard.
Well, I'll get back to you, gentlemen, in a few. Of course, we've got to also go out on the ground. A very huge part of race day, of marathons, is, of course, the water points. They play a very pivotal role during the race. And currently, speaking of that, we have NBC sport producer, my colleague, Nicolas Diremo, who is on standby at one of the water points out there in Swakopmund. Nicolas, a very good morning. How is it looking like that side?
Good morning, Michelle, and I hope you're having such a wonderful morning, because I am here out and about in Swakopmund at the Coastal Marathon. It is indeed going down today, right here in the coast. Well, the route starts just round about here in Swakopmund, and it takes you all the way as you head to Hentis Bay. But I'm standing at the first water point here, the 2.5 kilometer. Well, I must say this race features 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 21 kilometers, as well as 42. Well, for some of them, it is all about making it to the final destination and emerging victorious just to claim the prize. But for some, it's just all about finishing. As they say, it is a marathon, not a sprint. But this water point here, I'm going to engage now with one of the marshals just to talk to us about their preparation, because I understand they woke up very early this morning just to start with the preparation. Firstly, good morning, and just talk us through the preparation, what time you started, and yeah, what has been going on.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So we were here from 5 o'clock this morning, and it was a slight delay because we were waiting for the gazebos. But as for the preparations, we're just waiting for the final banners to be set up, and then we will do the fruits and water displays, and then we will be waiting for the first crew to come by.
All right, thank you so much. Well, that was the first marshal, just taking us through as to how the preparations have been going since the morning, 5 o'clock, she said. But I now engage with one of them again, just to take us through as to, from her end, what she would be expecting from this marathon. Well, thank you so much, Brett. I just have one question for you. I know it's a hassle to put these things together, but from the marathon perspective, as a marshal, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to a very productive day through it all. Like she explained, the preparations went well, and our expectations of this event would be to, number one, cooperate with Sanlam in the branding, because we want to market Sanlam, who is giving this advantage to the whole of Namibia, who could do this run. And then secondly, I'm a proud Bank Windhoek employee, so we are marketing our brand as well. Thirdly, what I'm expecting from this event is fitness, health and fitness, very important, and most of all is the social gathering, so that we can be one in terms of fitness and sports events. That is my expectations of the event.
All right, thank you so much, and have a lovely day.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
Well, that's another mashup, just taking us through as to what she expects for this event. But, you know, putting these things together is not easy. And right now, I just want to engage on the thoughts, just for her to tell us as to, from her point of view, what is her duty and what we can expect. Thank you so much. And it's a beautiful morning. But from your end, what can we expect? How hard is your job?
Okay, besides waking up earlier, the rest, I think we can take care of it. I'm at the water point here, 2.5 for 2.5 kilometers. So my duty here is to distribute water for the runners. Snacks like fruit and some sweet stuff for the energy. That's what we are doing here.
All right, and just in the case of you face challenges, so how do you maneuver that as a water marshal?
Challenges is in
Challenges, you know, with people coming through. There's so many different people and personalities coming through.
yeah, okay, that will actually depend from the specific challenge that will be there, like people running around, we just be stopping for water actually, or for that, so we depend that. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Nicholas Tiremo, thank you so much for that update out there in Swakopmund. Now, speaking of the coast, we are officially going to hand it over to the team, the crew that is down there, our colleagues, to bring you the 2026 edition of the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon.
Top of the morning to you, Swakopmund. Top of the morning to you, dear runners. This is the day that Sanlam Allianz has created. We shall run and be confident in it. Pass your limits, live by confidence. My name is David Singh, and I don't believe you realize how super excited I am to be with you this morning. The worship, dear runners. This is the day we will be working for. Without any further ado, I would like to hand over to her worship, the Mayor.
Thank you so much. Thank you for gracing this opportunity. I'm going to be truly grateful to be here today. My name is Sanlam Allianz, the Mayor of Swakopmund, alongside her worship pastor, Eugene Sutton, the Mayor of Swakopmund,
Of course, the Coastal Sanlam Allianz Marathon, the 2026 edition happening out here. Just to bring it back here in Hampshire with the platform legends. They're here in studio with us just to maybe talk about a little bit back on what exactly has been transpiring, what is happening in this marathon. We discussed it this morning just before the break, before we pass it back over. Now, just really want to preview.
Thank you so much, Your Worship. Are the devices ready? Are you ready? I can't hear you. Swakopmund Striders, are you ready? Walvis Bay Road Runners, are you here? Shore Runners, where are you? Okay, Hanya Running Club, where are you? Bunch Barriers? Icons? Bunch City Runners Club? Alright, the countdown is about to start. 1 minute to go, and then the mayor will send you off. This is the day we've all been waiting for. You've smashed your training runs, whether it's a long run, a VO2 max session, hill sprints, or recovery runs. You've done the strength training and the stretching, or maybe not. You've dialed in your nutrition, your hydration. Today is the day of reckoning. We also have a golden girl in our midst. Someone who decided unprovoked to travel to Cape Town and go win the Two Oceans Half Marathon.
Good morning and a very warm welcome, or should we say a coldish welcome to all our viewers joining us live for the 2026 edition of the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon with the theme Pass Your Limit, Led by Confidence. I'm Sunay Witman and I'm joined here by Hope Kathieko as we take you through today's action. As we see, they already kicked it off here, Hope.
Yes, pretty good. I can see that it's we already started, and the atmosphere looks very beautiful. But I see there was a little bit disturbance of the direction there. But I feel like the guys quickly get it right. So guys are pushing right now.
Yeah, as we see, the guys are settling in quite nicely, having a good rhythm, just trying to find their feet, trying to find a rhythm. We can see it's some clear weather conditions there. It looks like a beautiful day to run out, to have a run. Yeah, they looked quite settled in here.
Yeah, you can notice something amazing that the guys are trying to. They started good, actually on a good pacing. It's kind of amazing that you see these guys. The pacing looks more. They started on a high pace, which I believe that it's stimulated by the ground because you are moving on a flat surface. What do you think about it?
Yeah, the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon is well known for the flat surface. It's well known to be a fast race. And as we see there in bib number 174, it's Jeremiah. He is the defending champion, running there in the front with the green shirt. So yeah, he's making sure he's getting himself off to a good start, making sure he's getting himself settled in quite at the front. Yeah, it's a massive one to come into a race like this and try and defend your title. Yeah,
but tell me something, that if he's checking up on these guys when they're running in this flat surface, do you think the pacing? I'm checking up on the pacing. I think that these guys already get the rhythm now, because it seems like they are already separating themselves from other team, and it seems like they're already defining themselves. Do you think they're going to maintain it, or it's going to be just maybe the startup?
Yeah, if you think these guys are elite athletes and they know how to pace themselves, they know how to find themselves in a good rhythm. As you mentioned, Hope, they are differentiating themselves from the main group at the back. But like we said, this is a flat surface to race on, so I think it settling into their rhythm. They will try and find their feet and maintain the space.
Oh, I'm seeing that, you know, the amazing part of this competition. I'm speaking about the gentleman wearing yellow vest. That is Jeremiah, right? Zakaria Jeremiah. It's one of the guys too who is very, very one of the elites in this game. So on the betting, really, trust me, you will not know who is capable to do the doing here. Because Jeremiah is another guy too who is good when on this racing, and you can see that he's checking on his timing, which means that he's really maintaining, he's trying to make sure that he maintains a certain pace, which I think that's one of the things that elites always do, try to make sure that you maintain the pace, because this is the flat ground, it's too exciting. You might end up pushing too hard and end up failing to complete.
Yeah, so bib number 200 is Zakaria. He is the 2020, the 21.1 kilometer defending champion. So last year in the 2025 edition, Zakaria won the 21.1, the half marathon race. And yeah, you can see he's really working hard to stay up in front with Jeremiah, who is the full marathon defending champion. So we have the half marathon champ of last year and the full marathon champ of last year running in the front, trying to make their mark, trying to separate themselves from the main group at the back, settling into a rhythm as they move towards or in the direction of Henties Bay.
But can you see something amazing about these two gentlemen which are leading now in front? Can you see that something on Zakaria Tangeni? His body still looks like he's still going through a bit of fatigue. It's not yet really, the body's not yet relaxed.
Yeah, but like we said, He comes in from the half marathon as the half marathon defending champ. So just trying to find his rhythm probably in this full marathon. And obviously trying to keep up with Jeremiah, not giving Jeremiah a lot of room to separate himself from Zakaria. So yeah, you can see he's still a bit tensed shoulders. He's not running relaxed as Jeremiah's running. You can see Jeremiah's nice and relaxed, rhythmic breathing there. Yeah, maybe it will take him a few steps to just settle into his race rhythm.
Because in generally, if I'm looking at Jeremiah, it looks like it's actually now is taking up on a gliding. It's taking it very slow. You can tell the body is, it seems like he already warm up. The body is warm. It's on an easy position. But I'm saying on Zakaria, it looks like he's still trying to get the body warm. So if you're supposed to be cars, I would say that Jeremiah is more of one is a diesel car, one is a petrol car. Let's see how it's end, because one, it looks like really the body is flexible right now. It's moving on an easy way, and I can see that on Tangeni, it looks like it's kind of limping, which I believe maybe the body is still just not yet warm. But I'm loving the fact that he's observing his timing, which means that actually what we might be seeing is not exactly what he's experiencing right now.
Yeah, you can see him looking at his watch every now and then, and that's also probably just making sure he's keeping at his planned race pace, but also not giving Jeremiah a chance to separate himself from the group. But while these two are running in front, there is a few names that we can look out for in the elite men's race today. We have Valhalem Hangula. He ended third in the Rossing Marathon in March. He's quite a favorite for the full marathon here today. Winter Erastus wearing bib number 43. Simon Modestus wearing bib number 121. All of them competed at the Rossing Marathon earlier this year, ending in the top 10. And then, as we just spoke about, Jeremiah and Zakaria running in front, as well as Joel Lucas wearing bib 102. He ended fourth in the half marathon at the Rossing Marathon race earlier this year.
Do you remember something? They used to say, if you want to go far, remember they say, the African, if you want to go far, you have to go with someone. If you want to go fast, go alone. Huh? And I realized something interesting here. You just check something that Tangeni and Zakaria, what they did. I felt like Zakaria managed to get access to the water point. He managed to get the water, but Tangeni did not get the water. And I see these guys sharing the water. I love that, guys. These guys, you can see that they are only not battling themselves. They are battling time, which I think most of athletes, they have to have this mentality that when you are running, mostly when you are going for like 42 kilometers, it's not a game of trying to quickly challenge. It's a matter of tactical. So this gentleman did well. He made sure that he need to get the water to Tangeni. Why? Because they need to go together, because he's helping him to do the pacing. But trust me, on the last minute, there will be no friends like that. They're going to be a band. So over to you, Yay.
Yeah, obviously it is an individual sport, but all of the sporting codes out there have some tactics along with them. And as you rightfully mentioned, Hope, besides it being great sportsmanship, it is definitely part of the tactic to make sure they keep working together, especially when the wind or the more open roads is going to hit, for someone to maybe run in front for a while and change the workloads. But that was great to see there.
So tell me, what I'm seeing right now, it looks like we just have 10 minutes after we started the race of the 42 kilometers, which I think like if you could say in real life, this is like we are on introduction, isn't it? So for those people who are just joining us, this is just an introduction. If you are cooking food, we're going to say that we are not yet on the stage of tasting the soup. We are still, the body is still relaxing, try to get in the form. But I'm seeing that most of them, they are quickly defining themselves as much as possible, trying to distance themselves from other group, and so try to hit the goal. This is amazing. And the fact that they are running on a flat ground, one, you have to be mentally fit. What do you think about it?
Yeah, this is a massive mental challenge, and as we can see there, Jeremiah is running very smoothly. He's creating a gap between himself and Zakaria there. Yeah, this is obviously a mental, and as we mentioned, it is a lot of tactics going along with it. You need to know your own game to know what your paces are and your stride length are, and how are you going to go about it. As we see, it is a nice cold day. It's an open day. It's a clear day out there, and it's a nice 16 degrees. Swakop is only going to hit a high of 19 degrees, so it's going to be a good day to run a full marathon. Good weather conditions, and yeah, we can just see that gap that Jeremiah is creating there.
The great pressing. So, don't you think that today, yes, we can say that today, like in Swakop, is really a beautiful environment, the atmospheric to run and that sort of things. But I feel like it's one of an African top amazing environment based on the situation, the scenery where these guys are running. Remember that we are, on one side we are covered with Atlantic Ocean, and one side we have Namib Desert, which means that we have that combination of the two different breezes, which can actually work as a negative or as a positive vibe. So if it happens that you are running the direction where the wind is blowing, you are on advantage. But if it happens it's the opposite way, we are on disadvantage. What do you think about that situation?
Yeah, we always say what comes up must come down. So sometimes you're going to have the wind in your back, but you always have to turn around and head back to the finish line. So if you have the wind in your back starting off, you will probably run into it going back. Like I said, it's not just about the pace today. It's going to be about adapting to the conditions. It's always the race always starts in colder weather conditions and ends in hotter weather conditions. So it's going to be a nice little challenge, but beautiful scenery. Also, Swakop is sometimes known for having all 4 seasons in one day. So we might have a look at the weather predictions there, stating that it's going to get a high of 19, but in a blink of an eye, we can go up to some hotter weather conditions, windy conditions, and like you said, the breeze can also come from the coastal side, which is a colder breeze, but when it comes from the desert side, it will bring a bit of heat, a bit of sand. So yeah, it will be a good thing to keep an eye on the weather conditions and how it changes along the race.
And in front of us, I'm seeing Jeremiah. It looks like he's really defending himself too early. What do you think about that? Because it seems like the pace between Jeremiah and Zakaria is now well defined to the level that we can actually hardly see Tangeni behind there. But Jeremiah seems like he's now putting up on another second level and is actually gliding and enjoying the weather and the atmosphere right there.
Jeremiah is looking very smooth. Yeah, it looks like he's in a very comfortable rhythm. He's looking comfortable. Like you mentioned, he's gliding at this stage. And as a defending champ, I think you have a very good feeling of the conditions and have a good feeling of the route. I'm sure as an athlete, elite athlete as well, you know your paces, you know where you can push and where you need to just maintain, and it just looks like he has a clear plan and he's just running towards what he set himself out and his paces.
And this morning when I was just thinking about that, about the whole Sanlam Allianz marathon, these guys actually seems like they actually build up a very good family, friendly athletic grounds, because I see that the competition are divided into sections. We got 42 kilometers, we have 21 kilometers, we have 10 kilometers, we have 5 kilometers, which is really family friendly for recreation, the beginners, families and friends. So I really appreciate this. It's something that I like it, and I was checking on the pricing. It seems like the 42 kilometers winner seems like it will be grinding the chance to go for the Cape Town Sanlam Allianz again. So I think it's the gentleman, if he handled it right, it seems like it's looking at the gold and looking forward for that new winning up for Cape Town, because if you can maintain it, I think it's a good pacing.
Yeah, he's keeping a very good pace here. If you missed it, we could see Jeremiah wasn't too happy for missing that water point. But like we said, he is in a good stride. He is looking comfortable, so he doesn't want to break that. But yeah, to get back to you, Hope, it just shows you how much this race has grown. If we have a look at the stats or the numbers for this race starting off in 2018, it started off with just about 500 entries. And if you have a look at the entries for this year, they are over the 3,300 entries for this year. And that is across all the formats, starting from the full marathon until the 5-kilometer fun race. It creates a great environment for people to come out there and have fun, express themselves, but also it creates the opportunity for the elite athletes to put up their hands and get themselves into that international competition. But yeah, as we have a look there, we see that is the front runner for the female race. We will just confirm that bib number and who that is. But looking in good stride, looking to settle herself into this race. It looks like Selmi. She is the Rossing Marathon winner. She won the Rossing Marathon in March in a time of 2 hours, 37 minutes and 3 seconds. So that is Selmi running in front for the women's race.
You mean Selmi Mpingana, right?
Yes, it is Selmi Mpingana, yes.
Mm-hmm. So at least, but you see that it seems like on the ladies' side, the pace, they are not yet separating, right? They are still, seems like they are still together. They are still maintaining a certain pace. Because I feel like this race, we are talking about 18 minutes, huh? Don't you think that this race is going to be a little bit slightly crazy? Because this gentleman, he separated himself so early, which I believe that sometimes you need a person next to you for competition. But if you're elite, I believe that you already set your time. So you have to cruise. Because I feel like Jeremiah wanted to maintain Tankeni, but he realized that Tankeni is not really pushing as he wants. So I think he decided to separate himself, and now he's starting to watch, checking on his time. For the first time, seems like he's starting to observe his pacing and then moving. But I like the body shape. He's maintaining it very well. You can tell that is running on a very good relaxing zone. He's not bending forward, he's not bending backwards. They are still maintaining the pacing. So which I believe that he's moving well. Yeah. And it's a chance to complete it well too.
Yeah, Jeremiah is looking very comfortable, and as you mentioned, at the start he kept close to Zakaria, but like you said, he obviously as an elite put his time out there and said, listen, this is the time I want to run this race in today. And obviously, as a defending champion, and you come in as a defending champion, you want to defend that title.
Okay, so as I'm checking up with Jeremiah, he's maintaining up the pace, and I love the fact that if you check Jeremiah's gesture, the body posture is giving up the excellence movement. You can totally see that this gentleman is moving up. Okay, in front of us right now, we are looking at the ladies. Again, we are seeing Selmi Mpingana is leading on the ladies team, on the ladies side, and alongside, you can see there's a gentleman that is pushing up with, and which is very nice. I always support that. It's always important to have someone that you'll be running next to, because sometimes they help you to create the pacing. And then when you have someone who is pacing, you're going to see that you're going to be increasing, your pace can be able to go far. Why? Because you are being given a backup. But sometimes when you're starting, if you rush, sometimes you see that people sometimes fail to maintain the pacing. But I like the fact that you can see that Mpingana is pushing with gentleman with number...
Yeah, that's shirt number 32, Johannes Inyando.
Yebo, that is Mr. Johannes Inyando, which is very beautiful, guys. I feel like it's a good combination. And then in front of us right now, we are seeing Jeremy He's pushing, and you can see that he totally defined himself. It seems like he wants to even overtake the police. That is what we are looking forward on, and which I feel like, guys, we can see the beautiful scenery. I think you can see that it's getting morning. For those ones who are around the Swakop, they can come out and start to able to see the gentlemen passing through your houses, guys. What do you see about that? What do you think about our scenery and this gentleman? That looks unique and beautiful, isn't it?
That is such a beautiful shot by the cameraman there. Yeah, we kept on speaking about what a beautiful race this is, beautiful scenery of Swakopmund, and there Jeremiah is chasing the sun coming up with a good, comfortable lead and running very comfortable. He's looking set in his rhythm, having a look at his watch again, just making sure he's sticking to his plan. Yeah, and then really separating himself from the main group. But yeah, just to get back to the women's race, we've seen Mpangana running with Johannes there, making sure she has someone to work with, making sure she keeps in a team there, as she separated herself from the rest of the women's pack at this stage. We do have Otile Aimwata, the defending Coastal Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon champion, also in this race today. We haven't seen her yet. And we have Beata Naigambo, who ended 4th in the Rossing Marathon. Also a well-known Namibian long-distance runner. So it's good to see some well-known races coming to big races like this. And we actually spoke about it a bit earlier. The great opportunity that a race like this creates for the elite out there. The 42, the half, the full marathon winners get the opportunity to travel to Cape Town to compete in the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon, and this also counts as a qualifying event for the big Comrades Marathon later this year. So this gives so much opportunity for our elite athletes to be able to put up their hand and say, listen, I will be able to compete internationally. Where the half marathon winners will be able to win a trip to Botswana to go race in Botswana. So many opportunities created by events like this and created by the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon.
So in front of us right now, we are seeing Jeremy. Seems like he's totally on a different pace, and it's totally have a different conversation with himself about this doing the best. And trust me, I believe that this gentleman, on this moment, he already set his mind. He set his mind that I got to keep moving. And I love it because it seems like he's changing the pace. The pacing is like at every level is increasing. It's not yet doing the decreasing part. It seems like every level is increasing the pace. So I believe that if he keep up maintaining the pace, he have a very high chance to able to break his record, because mostly on these coastal marathons, most of elites, they look forward to break the record, or they actually to manage to run their personal best.
Yeah, especially if you're the defending champ, you know, you have had this title before. So when you come back here, you want to put up your hand and say, listen, I want to improve. I want to improve on what I did previously. So yeah, while we're having a look at Jeremiah running in front, setting the tone there. If you are in the vicinity, keep your eye out for bib number 61. It is Achim Herma. He is the oldest male runner in the 42 kilometer today, a full 69 years of age. And for the female category, keep your eye out for bib 197, Anne Swartz, aged 64. So it's so good to see the elder people still putting up their hand to show that endurance is not going to keep them away from being age is not going to keep them away from being active, especially a full marathon. It should probably take a lot of preparation to still be able to compete in a race like this.
Do you ever realize something about this marathon? It seems like marathon become a game of, it's becoming an amazing game. It's becoming like a culture. One have to be, most of the people who are like grandmasters involved into this marathon, they actually turn marathon into a lifestyle, whereby people actually have to always do the continuation of practicing and those sort of things. So it is actually, to me, I feel like it's, when you're looking on marathon, we need to take it as a lifestyle. We actually take it as something that we can use to socialize with the family, with the friends. And I actually feel like this Sanlam Alliance, they did it so well, whereby they give the great categories, different categories, which allows family, friends, pets, based on the distance. So which is really very wonderful and amazing. And a lot of people, I believe that a lot of people, they are running to meet that line, to make sure that you cross that line. And if you check up the theme that they give us this year, it's a pass your limit and lead by confidence, which is really happening now. And you can see that, check it, Jeremy, he's leading, he's doing the amazing thing. He is moving with confidence. So I really appreciate this. This is a good going, man.
Yeah, it is. It is very awesome. As we see, the 21 kilometers, the half marathon just started off making their way onto the scenic route out there, the coastal route for the Sanlam Alliance Coastal Marathon. We do have a few athletes to keep our eyes on there. As we mentioned, some of the half marathon defending champs are running the full marathon today. But yeah, our female, our male favorite is Matthias Simon for the half marathon today in the male category. So we can keep our eye out for bib number 997, Matthias Simon.
So tell me something. I'm checking up on Jeremy right now, as I'm seeing Jeremy is one that we are seeing on the screen right now, and I can see that his pace is starting to increase as we are talking about that increasing level. It's becoming hard. And in front now we are seeing Mpingana. Miss Mpingana is taking over, checking up some little bit cooling on the water, which I believe she's the one leading on the ladies team.
Yeah, Hope. Apart from Hope and myself, we are also joined by Karupu, a former 400-meter runner himself, who will be accompanying us today on today's race. So a very warm welcome to him as well on the commentary team. Yeah, as we see, some of the 21 racers still making their way, and I think this is a great picture that's painted for us out there. As we spoke about the oldest contestants in the full marathon, we see a lot of people that's coming out there to have fun, to be recreational, I also think this plays a big part in mental health and getting out there. As we did have a look at how many times this Sanlam Alliance race has come forth, and it started in 2018 and it went over to 2019, and then COVID hit, and I think COVID played a big role in creating the increase in numbers, as we spoke about it earlier, that we had 500 entries to start off the first coastal marathon, and today we have over the 3,300 entries. And just look at that, little families, big and small, young and old, everyone coming together to celebrate health and celebrate the opportunity to be active and just spend time with one another. And yeah, if you're there to really compete, it creates that opportunity for you to really compete. But if you're there to have fun and just be out there and just be active, this also creates that opportunity. So it is so amazing to be able to host events like this. And I think a big word of thanks goes to Sanlam Alliance and all the sponsors out there, the water points out there, the people, the organizers making events like this possible.
For those of you doing 5 kilometers, you'll be starting exactly 8 o'clock.
So as we are seeing now, we are seeing Jeremy, and Jeremy is taking over. It seems like he's maintaining the really amazing pace. What do you say about Jeremy if you look at Jeremy's movement as we're talking right now?
Thank you. Actually, when I look at the pace for Jeremiah, that is not new. We have known him for a long time. He's a resilient athlete, an athlete with a tough mental capacity. That is to say, that's why you can see him that he is, beside the training being done in a group, he always stands out that even when he's on his own, he keeps the pace consistent.
Yeah, we can see, especially there at the start, he is really controlling the pace, and it just shows you that the experienced runners are settling in quite nicely.
Yeah, right. If you're looking at the time now, in terms of the distance and covered, I believe that, okay, now in front we are seeing Miss Mpingani. Salmi Mpingani is leading on the ladies. And guys, on this moment, we can talk about, if you look at the time, we are like 31 minutes, 44 seconds, let's say. So we are in the cooking pot. Now, if you are the one who like to test meat, this is a time that we can say that the food is cooking, which means that we are able to differentiate. We can see people now, they're starting to differentiate themselves. People are starting to maintain a certain pace, the standard pace, the classic pace that you can able to see who is leading, which pep one belongs to. As we are seeing now, we are seeing the ladies, she already defined herself. She's on the leading. She's holding up the good pace, the gesture. It looks beautiful. You can see that she's a champion. She's moving on a beautiful pace. Her body is not leaning back, it's not leaning forward. She's on a beautiful gesture, and she's moving on a beautiful pace. What do you think about it?
Yeah, like Jeremiah separated himself from the main pack, we can see Salmi separating herself. She was running with Johannes for a while, but we can see her settling into her stride, getting that comfortable rhythm. You can see she's looking very comfortable as she's running there, getting herself into a nice rhythm, nice stride, and settling in well into this race as they are outside or find themselves outside of Swakopmund now on the main road. Yeah, it's good to see these experienced athletes pacing themselves very well.
Actually, one thing that I can able to highlight that both Jeremiah Shariahwe and Nduviteko Salmi, they are from Namibian Police Athletic Club. That basically means that if you combine the two, the training of police basic training as well as the training of athletic, that alone gives them the edge to stand out, because it's like on daily basis the work of the nature of police, it requires mental strength. So that's not a surprise that the two athletes, so you can see them that they are being solo now, that it's still going pretty well.
So what I'm talking about with this Sanlam Allianz Marathon, it looks like it's really promoting this fitness on a high level. I'm checking up on Jeremy as we are talking right now. You can tell that his body is on a sweating level, which means that the muscles are now relaxed. So which means that this is a situation at the moment where one have to now have a personal conversation with himself and try to maintain a certain amazing pace. Because on this moment you can tell that the fatigue is gone. It's now the game of mental challenge. If you are fit enough, that you can see the person is increasing. A person is able to glide on this moment. If you are not, that's where you see the pace is cutting off. And I really see that this gentleman shows that he have a very strong mental discipline. Although I saw him just trying to look a little bit, peeping a little bit backwards, or most athletes are not allowed mostly to do that, but I saw that he just did that a little bit. I think he's trying to create a new pacing, either to increase or to reduce the pacing. But looking back, you can see that he's actually a heavy person who can move in the best way. We are seeing here, Semi, what can you say about Miss Mpingana right now? When you're pacing, what can you say about his pacing and his moving? Do you think that's beautiful, or there's a need of a push of a competition a little bit on him, based on their flat land?
Yeah, you can see Salmi is in a good rhythm there. I think she's just going to keep it controlled at this stage. As we can see, she is in the clear there. we see a few runners at the back, but we are not sure if it is some of the female runners chasing her. But she's looking very comfortable. Karupu, can you maybe just like give us some insight with both of them training at the police? What do you think the effect is of Salmi training with some of the elite men's athletes? Do you think it has a big role to play in being one of the favorites in today's race?
Absolutely. When you mix the training program, that is to say both male and female athletes have to pace each other. They learn from each other's strengths, and as well as the weakness is not the weakness in to say it's in negative, but one can able to say that for the male athlete like Jeremiah's, when they are pacing the female counterpart, what they are learning there is that relaxation. And the pace of coming to the pace of Nduviteko is basically is one of those things that you can see that sometimes a person you go on to the race with an object goal, but then you have plan B. That is to say, probably she wants the best time, but at the end of the day, the body reactions also comes to play, where you can now decide, okay, at this moment, I will just keep the pace so that I can able to achieve the ultimate goal, that is to complete the course. Yes.
Yeah, so just getting back to that, Salmi is one of the race favorites for today, but we also have Otile Amwata, the defending champ in the race today. So what do you think Salmi is feeling coming into this race? Do you think it's bigger pressure to come in as the race favorite, or do you think it's bigger pressure to come in as the defending champion trying to defend this title?
Basically what happens when it comes to pressure, this is something that this is like a nature of every athlete. The pressure is not coming from an opponent, but rather the pressure is coming from the goal that you set for yourself. So that is mostly the target. But yes, of course, you need also to have some ego coming or being known as a champion. You want to maintain that position. Yeah, because that's what at the end of the day brings the best performance. Because if you are lousy, you are a champion, but you come to the race with a mentality that I'm just going to race. That alone doesn't improve result. But when you come with a mentality of saying, I need to defend my title, whatever it takes, I'll go hard. That basically the pressure that comes, which is a positive pressure. Yeah.
Okay. Or seeing something. Now we can see in front of us we get some big group, which I believe that I remember when we mentioned about the situation. There is the running are different. In these groups, you can start to see there's a different formation that is happening. Why? You see social run. They're gonna be social runs. There are the podium finishers. There are the time. Personal best finishers. So I feel like you can see that that commotion, there's that situation of the atmospheric of a grouping running. But you can see now in front of us, we can see there's Jeremiah. You can tell that this gentleman is running for time-breaking PBs and running for the upcoming competition. So that is something that, again, you must be very considerate. Then we might not see him running with anyone in front of him. This is now fighting against them. It's a mental fitness, and the patience is needed. And at this moment, you can say every step counts. Every decision matters when you're running on this pace. And we are looking at the timing of talking about 39 minutes is covered right now. What do you think about this situation of even this gesture running?
Yeah, we speak about the pace that Jeremiah is setting and he's looking comfortable, but I think sometimes we forget about what's the nutrition that needs to go into a system like this. So obviously we've seen him from start up until now at every water point he's taking something. The one that he missed, he was quite frustrated. So yeah, I think that's something important to have a conversation about is the importance of nutrition and what you take in, when do you take it in, how much do you take it in. So Hope, what's your feeling on the nutrition aspect?
Okay, I feel like when it comes for an athlete, when it comes mostly for the people who are running marathons, it's something very serious. You don't just eat what you want. You just don't eat the rough things. You need to eat something that the body needs. It's a situation when you are doing marathon, you need to consider the fact that what does the body needs. So mostly you can see that the coaches are always on those people. The ladies and gentlemen, they are being observed what to eat, what to do. That's why mostly diets are crucial, because if you don't do that, long distance, you can get a lot of fatigues, you can get head, the body muscle need to recover. So guys, diet is a top thing when it comes to this.
Yeah, especially running in different weather conditions as well. If you don't feel your body with the right feel, things like cramps creeps in, and like fatigue. You don't want to have a good pace, a run at a good pace, and then all of a sudden hit a wall. So yeah, I think that is an important aspect to keep an eye on. As we see a lot of runners making their way out towards the Henties Bay Road, I think it is very important to give a big shout out to Jovita Kanjumbwa, one of NBC Sports presenters participating in the 21 kilometer. As we saw the 21 kilometers that they made their way out already. She is wearing bib 531. So if you see her along the road, give her a big shout, Jovita. One of the sport presenters at NBC. We will see Lucy K. Rocco set off in a while for the 10 kilometer, also one of the NBC sport presenters. Yeah, we head back out to the elites, as it is Salmi still running very comfortable out in front, the lead female so far for this marathon today.
Yes. Can you give me a little bit hints? Did you see the pacing of Sangmi and Zakaria in terms of their pacing?
Yeah.
What can you say about that?
I can define the pacing. From the look of things, I can visualize the pace of Jeremiah Salahwe. Jeremiah Salahwe, his goal is very high. Yes, his goal is very high because he knows his time is very close. It's knocking to the door of qualifying to the World Athletic Championship. So that, in his mind, is chasing that goal. So that's why the pace is very high. But when it comes to Duviteko Salmi, she's still a little bit far from, but not that much far. So that's why you can see her pace. If I have to define it, it means that she have made a peace that victory is guaranteed at this moment and time. The only goal is for her to make sure that she cross the line and win for herself a prize, so that she can use that money to further prepare for some bigger qualifying events.
Tell me something. I'm seeing, if you check it up on the atmospheric of the atmosphere and the scenery of Swakop. Remember, we are actually on we are situated. This activity is taking place on a place situated within the Atlantic Ocean and Namib Desert, and where we expect from the desert side, we're expecting some dry winds sometimes over there, and from the seaside, we're expecting some crazy breeze. But it seems that today it looks like it's kind of a respective weather. It looks like it's very balanced to the level that I feel like the weather out there is well balanced. There's not too much wind. There's not too much dust. It's kind of balanced. Do you think like this is kind of an amazing moment? And what can you say about the PBs being met?
Yeah, it looks like a perfect running day if you just keep your eye out there on the weather. I think also the rhythm of the athletes tell you that story, that it is a good day to be out there running a marathon. It doesn't look too windy, and sun is shining. Normally along the coastline for quite a while you will have a misty atmosphere, a bit of a wet road, but as we can see there, clear skies, dry road, athletes are looking very comfortable. So I think if you had to choose a perfect day to run a marathon, this would be the perfect day to be running a marathon. yeah, obviously weather conditions play a big role, and like I said, I think this will contribute very positively to these athletes out there on the road today.
When you look at the weather itself, this is something that as an athlete, I can tell you that we are prepared to face almost every weather. For sometimes it's like in our programs, when you know the destination of the event, you begin to prepare yourself mental and also physical, that your body will actually adapt to that type of prevailing weather within that particular destination. So in this particular, we are talking of Swakopmund weather, and you highlighted of we are talking of the Namib Desert and the Atlantic Ocean weather, bringing it onto play. That is to say, in the case of today, where it's balanced, it is a very advantageous weather to the athletes. That is to say that there is no much headwinds or sometimes wind behind to push that can affect also the time and so forth. Because sometimes you come and run fast, and as a result, the World Athletic Namibia can able now to vet those requirements and say, okay, you could not qualify, though you ran the qualifying time, you could not qualify due to the strong wind. But when the wind is like that, it gives an advantage to the athletes that the time that they clock, it is more likely to give them an advantage and straight away to qualify.
Karupu, I have another question for you. Looking at that, and while we're speaking about the coastal conditions, you mentioned that both these leaders, male and female at this stage in the marathon, are based in Windhoek and training in Windhoek. So how do they prepare for these different weather conditions? Obviously, Windhoek is a lot hotter. The surfaces are quite different. You have a bit more hills, up and downs, and going out there a bit colder, probably a lot more windy, depending on what weather comes on race day, and yeah, a nice and flat surface to run a marathon on. So how do you prepare for something like racing at the coast versus training in the central areas of Windhoek?
That is a very good one. We use as roads as well as time. Time in case of now chilly weathers, that is the way most of these athletes wake up early in the morning to start to prepare or to start to exercise, so that they can able to cope with a chilly weather. But sometimes when it comes to the roads also, it matters that you choose the road that you are going to train, knowing that this road have got strong wind. For example, the outside road, like the one for you now, obviously because there are few obstructions, the wind is quite strong. So you are training in that, and also leading to Leopard Valley, that areas you are training there, so that at least the area for Leopard Valley, mostly when we are doing now that program, that to say for tempo, because you do not want to get fatigued so fast or easy, because that side there's a literal of nature. You are getting at least support, the oxygen from the trees and all that, so that at least you are maintaining that tempo. We learn tempo running from that side. But when it comes to resistance, like wind, we use the road for Yunam, and sometimes this road going to Kahanja or Kapuka roadblock. Those are just facts that one based on, but I cannot give now everything.
Cannot give away all the insights there. Yeah, as we have a look, it is still Jeremiah in the lead for the elite men's race, running very comfortable in the front. If you are joining us now, a very warm, we can say it is a warm welcome now. We can see the weather conditions are playing along very nicely, so a very warm welcome to you. If you are joining us now, I am Sine Wittmann, and I am joined here by Hope and and Karupu for the rest of the remainder of this race. We've spoken about weather conditions, we've spoken about the opportunities that races like this create, and we've spoken about the growth of a race like this, and it's so amazing for races to be hosted like this in Namibia. Hope, do you think we are starting to build up a lot more of these races, or do you think there is still some things we can put together on the calendar to make international qualifications one or two opportunities more? I mean, if you miss an international qualification in this race, then where else do you find that other qualification opportunity? If you understand what I'm trying to ask here, do we have enough of these opportunities for our athletes out there? Yes, we do have a lot of the athletes doing it for recreational, for fun, to be active, but we also have a lot of them really doing it for chasing that goal, trying to qualify for a world championship, trying to qualify for the next or the upcoming Olympics. People out there wanting to qualify for the Comrades Marathon, wanting to qualify for the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon. There's so many opportunities out there, but do we have enough of those opportunities to give runners the platform to qualify?
Okay, so if you look at the activities looking more on these athletics like running, marathons, we have a vast of them. But one thing I like to say, you see, like today we got Sanlam Allianz Marathon, which is one of the top, which is really doing well and really encouraging these activities to take place. They will be found, you will find a lot of them, they are rising up and down. But one thing that we would want to appreciate in this game is consistency. You see, like how the Sanlam Alliance Marathon, how it's been doing. They are really doing well. I think, if I'm not mistaken, speaking under correction, I think that is maybe 7th edition where we are right now. So, which means that they've been doing these activities continuously. That continuously, it helps people to understand and feel engaged, involved. So we really appreciate when the campaigns or such situation or such events are being hosted and people maintain the consistency. Why? Because people can able to, you might miss another activity, but you can prepare and able to come and engage on an activity like this one, where you know that you can be documented and you can be recorded and you can end up qualifying to go further. So that's, I think, they are there, but there are few which are really doing well in terms of the consistent maintenance of the consistency. So like now, I really appreciate what we are looking at now. It's a Sanlam Alliance Marathon taking place on the Swakopmund, which I feel like they've been consistent. What do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we are correct that this is the 7th edition, it just shows you that even with that gap that happened during the COVID times, they kept on coming back and making sure they give this wonderful platform and opportunity for the runners, especially our local runners, our Namibian runners. Karupu, do you think there is some room to get some international runners in races like this to really challenge, let's say, the runners coming into races like this, that is the event favorites or that is the defending championships? Do you think there is some room to get some international runners in here? I mean, marathons has become a really big thing, from not really seeing marathons on TVs to seeing the big marathons, the Berlin Marathon, the Paris Marathon, the London Marathon, the New York Marathon. So many opportunities created out there. Just to like, if we can put it in that way, to level up the competition.
When it comes to the competition or the event itself, in athletic, what we look at, let us say, we look at categories of an event. Yes, the category determines the goal that the event organizer can set themselves and challenge themselves. Just like competition, as in competition, is the same just like in athletes, because there is also competition for competitions. I want my competition to do well. I want my competition to be rated high. I want my competition to be the best in the region. So you cannot rule out the presence of international athletes, because you start from the regional level, you host the regional athletes, you come to the national, you host the national athletes. At the end of the day, once you have proved yourself, now we are talking of 7 years down in the line, the focus now should be how to get these international athletes. International athletes, we can start within SADC, that you get to understand the best athlete within the region. Those are the starting point where you can able to invite those athletes. You invite 1 or 2. But when we talk now of inviting international athletes, elite athletes, mostly the what we call appearance fee. That is where you basically need now to also to step up the peg, how much each athlete is rewarded, including the local, because the local, if you are not paying them, the international will look at how the local they've been paid. At the end of the day, that along, it plays a very pivotal role that to say, should I go and compete? Yes, there are 2 things always at the back of the mind as an elite athlete. One is looking at the peg, and also one is looking at the ultimate goal, that is to say, this type of event, if I have to go and compete, the condition a custom that comes with that event, because we know, for example, Durban Marathon. Most of elite athletes, they will tell you Durban Marathon is a fast one. Yeah, that is something that one can able to think of, that if I want to qualify, obviously I want to go and compete in Durban Marathon. This is something that we should also look when it comes to Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon. To improve, those elements need to be incorporated.
That's very interesting to get that in-depth detail there, to understand what elite athletes look for and what not. It's not just about attending and say, listen, I ran this race. It's about what do I want to get out of this race and where am I heading to, or what do I need to do. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Thanks for that, Karupu. Just a moment ago, we saw Jeremiah pass the 18-kilometer mark around about 55 minutes. Hope, what do you think of that pace? He still looked very comfortable, very strong when he passed that 18-kilometer water mark.
Yeah, actually, I really like the way he's pacing, but I'm slightly concerned on the pacing that is moving right now, because I feel like when you are being followed, it seems like athletes intend to push a little bit more harder. And if you check very well back to today's Sanlam Alliance marathon theme, seems like it's starting pass your limit and lead by confidence. Yes, if you pass you can pass your limit, but if you're not being followed, sometimes you might be too confident and just walk slow. You start to run a little bit reduced. So we need that push. So he's doing well, which I believe that it's every athlete. There's something amazing about athletes that we are not aware of. These guys, they've been training for long, and they have a mission, and they don't want that mission to be put down. So I believe that he's doing really the best of his day, and just hoping for the best, that he can keep on pushing. That's Jeremiah we are looking at in front now. So I think he's really doing well.
Yeah, he looks very comfortable, still in the lead there. As we can see, no other athletes around him. So I think the mental battle will come in here to stay with that pace. You mentioned earlier, Hope, if you want to go far, go in a group, but if you want to go fast, then you go alone. So at this stage, I think Jeremiah is making it very clear to us, the people out there, the viewers, that going alone is just that one thing on his mind, is he wants to go fast. We have seen a moment ago that Salmi is also still running very comfortable. It looks like she is running there with bib number 50. She's running in partnership with Erich Goeieman, one of the veterans. So she's settling in nice there next to him. So if you just joined us, welcome to the Sanlam Alliance Coastal Marathon. We speak under correction, but this is the 2026 edition, the 7th edition. How immensely have this event grown from their first event in 2018 up until today, Hope?
You know, what I was talking about, and in terms of brands, or talk about something, if you want to grow well, or if you want to grow popular, consistency plays a role. Because people, when they put you on their mind, they don't want disappointment. So in other way, I can say that the Sanlam Allianz Marathon, what makes it grows, on my point of view, they are not been disappointing. They've been always delivers what they promises. And I think that's why you can see people develop and become loyal to the game. Because if they say that, guys, by this time, collect your numbers, it means that there's order, there's good organization skills, and people are happy because of this. And then not only that, it means that the team, they've been working hard to make sure that they put this sport or this game on the right time, right environment, and they really where people can able to turn up. So I think like really it's about timing, organization, and the strategizing. So I think the Sanlam Allianz Marathon, I think they did well on that. So what do you think about?
Yeah, I think the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon has grown immensely. We did see the numbers starting off at only 500 entries, or around about 500 entries in 2018, and having over the 3,300 entries in today's race. It just shows you how much an event like this has grown, but it also comes back to that consistency, like you mentioned, Hope. If you offer an event consistent, and if it's there annually, every year, this event is taking place around about the same time in the year, accommodating the athletes, especially with big events coming up like the Comrades Marathon. Some runners also using the Two Oceans Marathon coming into the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon, going from here, trying to qualify for next events. So I think it just shows you how much it really did grow, and if you are consistent with these things, you also have the same people pitching up for saying, listen, I'm going to put up this water point. Listen, next year there's another person saying maybe we should have a water point at this distance as well. So a lot more people buy into it out of a sponsorship point of view, but also out of I do this for recreational, I do this for fun, I do this to be active, I do this for mental health, and I do this to qualify for a next event as an athlete, elite athlete.
When it comes to the event, just like I said, there are a lot of methods one can able to employ. For instance, it's just like in any business. You present or you produce a product. So the product is not just being produced for the sake of being produced. There are certain quality that you put in place. For instance, how best will this product sell, and will be the satisfaction of the customer. Will the customer be satisfied with this product? So it's the same also with event. You are looking at the introduction of the event. After you introduce it, because there are stages, introduction stage, then after introduction, it comes to a growth stage. After growth stage, then it comes to maturity. Maturity stage is where consistency matters, that you have been highlighting. That is to talk of sustainability, how the event is going to be sustained. Now, in the case of sustaining the event itself, there are a lot of the inputs that one needs to consider. What else is happening within the region? In marketing, they talk of a preposition. So that means that the event itself, you need to be positioned in the best category that it stands out. And I highlighted of inviting international athletes, for example, and also the peg, that if you increase the peg, you are making sure that you are keeping now the maturity or that I mentioned earlier on, that you are now at that optimum, that you are the best in the country to pay the athletes the well-deserved prize money. And because remember, just like any business or any company or any entity, if you are hiring professional, the best professional will come to the company that is paying well-deserved salary. So it's the same with sport or athletic. Athletics is a profession like any other profession. If the athlete is not being paid well, obviously, even if these athletes used to come to attend to that event and they do their best, they will start to regress because they are not satisfied. That's satisfaction now I was talking earlier. The participants need to be satisfied, and also as the organizer, you are looking also to maintaining the maturity of the event by employing not only quantity but quality. Yes.
Yeah, that's very well said, Karupu. If you only joined us now, that is our male race leader, Jeremiah Shaliwe, running very comfortable in the front. We did see a moment ago that he turned around at the 21-kilometer mark at around about 1 hour and 3 minutes. That is running at a very good, very comfortable pace. Our female leader at this stage is Salmi Ndiveku, running quite comfortably in partnership with one of the male racers, Erich Goeieman, in bib number 50. So our race leaders at this stage is running in bib 174 for the male, Jeremiah, and for the women or the ladies. This is quite a coincidence. The male leader is running in 174, and Salmi, our female leader is running in 147. So they have the same numbers in their bibs. It's just a bit mixed up. So it is quite interesting. We do see Erich Goeieman taking a water break there. So I want to assume Salmi kept on running, making sure she stays comfortable with her pace. Yeah, that was quite interesting to see now with the bib numbers there.
Oh, remember, numbers have meanings.
Yeah.
So you don't want to go too deep, but 7, I can just mention 7. 7 is about fulfillment. So I believe these guys are heading for something best. And I was checking about Jeremy on the timing. He crossed the 21 kilometers point on 1 hour 5 seconds, which means that if we do the right calculation, if nothing bothers him, like really on the going back, we believe that going seems to be more harder than coming back. Because when you're coming back, the body becomes more lighter, and zoning is becoming used. Like it's about mind. The body is just moving, but the mind is more playing a role. So if that happens, there's a probability that he can able to cut it a little bit down. Let's maybe say if he can able to maintain 50-50, going 50, begging 50, he will be within the 2 hours, which is actually something. Actually, that is what we hope you are looking for. Something better. It will be actually qualifying for some internationals. So let's hope for the best, but the pacing from up to 21, I think, well, for someone who's going to complete that long distance for 42 kilometers, which I believe is a very beautiful one, hoping for the best and is doing well, that it's Selmi in front of us. What can you say about Selmi's pacing now, right now?
Yeah, I will get back to Selmi's pacing. I just want to throw an interesting fact out there. Matthias Simon is running the half marathon today. He won the Rossing Marathon this year in a time of 2 hours and 13 minutes. Now, the Rossing Marathon also took place at the coast. So it would be interesting to see if Jeremiah, if he keeps up with this pace, if he will get to that sub 2 hour, or how close will he get to that 2 hour marker? It will be quite interesting. Obviously, it would be different weather conditions today than what the Rossing Marathon took place in. But I just wanted to throw that interesting fact out there. I did mention Matthias Simon is running the half marathon today. He is the favorite for that half marathon in the male category. But yeah, the two favorites in the male and the female elite race here are still running in the front. Jeremiah is the defending champion of the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon, so he is putting up his hand to defend that title. And in the women's race, we do have the defending champion in the women's race, Otile Aimwata, but we haven't seen her yet. But Selmi is running quite comfortably in front. She is the favorite for today's elite race, the marathon here. But yeah, coming back to paces, I think she is running quite comfortably. She's looking quite settled in. We did see her at one of the water points there. We have her back on screen. You can see she is in a comfortable stride. She is in this mid phase of this race. She's looking as if she's just following a strategy. I don't know, Karupu can give us more insight there as he know her as an athlete a bit better, but both these two leaders made sure that they stretch this race quite early, that they put themselves well in front to keep up with their pace and how they want this race to go.
It's very quite interesting when it comes to the time Jeremiah crossed the half marathon. That time alone, it's really a promising time. We are just hoping that if the remaining half 21 kilometer improve on it, then we are most likely to have a representative at the World Championship, and that is something that I'm so much optimistic about it. So that comes World Champ, we are not just going to have athletes who are going to be partakers, but we are going to have athletes who go there and compete. And Jeremiah is just demonstrating that. And if you put across the whole scenario or the situation where he's going on pace, lateral in the bigger event, you'll find where you are always in a high peak. That basically means that we are having the best candidate. And coming to Nduviteko's pace, like I said earlier, she have got a goal for herself, probably yes to win a position and also to have some prize money that she can able to prepare, like I said earlier, for next year's edition. Yes. So that is Nduviteko, and Jeremiah just for the part of pacing and as well as the ultimate goal that they are having. They are doing quite well, and I see that they are maintaining their purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, we did see Beata and Gambo for a while, a quick moment there on the screen. So by the looks of it, she is putting in her stride in chasing Salmi here. So I think this is where the game is going to start going. For Salmi especially, that has been running in front the whole race so far, the female leader here. Beata is maybe just started off a bit slow, so it will be interesting. It is something we will have to keep our eyes on as this race unfolds. We did speak about that time Jeremiah is pushing for. He did turn around at the half marathon mark at round about 1 hour, 3-4 seconds, roundabout. If we have a look at the winning time for the Rossing Marathon earlier this year, it was Joel Lucas. He is running the full marathon today, but he finished that half marathon. My apologies, I just have to get the correct time here. I will get back to you on that, but yeah, if we see Joel Lucas, he ended 4th in the half marathon at the Rossing, and he finished in a time of 1 minute and 7 seconds. So this is quite a comfortable race that Jeremiah is running here. If you have a look at some of that Rossing marathon, half marathon times, he is pushing very hard, like Karopo said, for that World Championship qualification spot. And by the looks of it, we will just confirm that time, that qualification time that he needs to run. But by the looks of it, he is running quite comfortably pushing for that. Yeah, what do you think that will mean, Hope, that will mean for Jeremiah, but not just for Jeremiah, but for Namibia as a nation to have a representative, hopefully more than one, with a few more events coming up for our athletes to qualify. But yeah, what would that mean for Namibia as a country, and for Jeremiah as a personally as an elite athlete to be able to represent his country at the world stage?
I look forward on Jeremiah to do that really in future. And trust me, if Jeremiah managed to cross the line on the targeted time, this is going to be something amazing for the country, for those who are into sport, even those who are not into sport. But when they hear that we have someone who is representing the country on international basis, people become active. And trust me, and I think, as we say, charity begins at home. Jeremiah been some certain events. Jeremiah been showing the potential, very much potential. That's why today you can see that people are increasing in terms of supporting the gentleman in terms of these athletics. People are looking forward on the gentleman like him to be taking over and do something that will be representing the country for the near future. And I think coastal line can be one of the best area to break this record, because in terms of the pressure, it's actually mostly for Swakop, it's considered one the normal one. So which I believe, if he pushes very well, this could be something, a dream come true to Jeremiah, and it could be again a dream come true to the country. We need people like this, because why? When you're looking at Jeremiah right now, you can see the body gesture. It gives us exactly the structure of a person who ran for international, and the body physique is the right one. The gesture is the right one, because we can check on the time now. We are on 1 hour 16 minutes. The gentleman is not yet leaning forward. He's still keeping his body straight, which means that the body, the muscles of the body, they are very fit enough. The pace, it's okay. He's not suffering. He's gliding right now. So we're just hoping that he can maintain to glide.
Yeah, and this obviously also creates the opportunity to inspire the next generation. Look at him just running very comfortable in the front there, but just as he's running on that side of the road, there might just be one or two from the people that entered for the fun, for recreational, that spots this and say, listen, but I also want to be like that one day. I also want to chase a qualification time to represent my country at the World Championships, and hopefully in the near future the Olympic Games. There's so many opportunities, and yeah, it is amazing, like for events like this that takes place. Sometimes we forget how much bigger than just this running is, and sometimes we forget how much bigger opportunities like this is to just finish the line, and sometimes we even forget what just finishing the line, what that impact is for an elite athlete, what next doors that can open for the elite athlete, but also for that person running that's maybe struggling. So it is so great to be part of opportunities like this, and to be able to watch this and see, like, yes, he is pushing for that qualification time, but he's also inspiring the next generation. Same with our female athletes running, inspiring the next generation. It's just that one person watching from home, seeing what you are capable of, seeing what your body is capable of. So yeah, as we see one of our female athletes running there, I'm not sure if you caught that. It's Amwata. Otile, it's our defending champ. We just saw on the screen there, taking a bit of fluids in and pushing real hard. So I think Selmi is in for a good end there, but I think she is still looking comfortable in front. We are not sure how far Amwata is off from Selmi, but we have seen Amwata and we have seen Beata in the mix there. So that is at this stage our top 3 elite women in the race. Yeah, we did see Zakaria Tangeni start off very quick with Jeremiah, but Jeremiah made sure he put some dust in between them, running quite comfortably. So it would be interesting to see who is the chasing pack for the elite men, as Jeremiah finds him well in front, very comfortable running in front there.
Let me go on the very interesting topic that is of the pace and also qualifying. Yes, it's quite interesting when we are talking of representing the country. The responsibility that comes along, it really is a good, and it benefits the athletes in many aspects. But as for the nation, particularly the police community is a very crucial point that we demonstrate that when it comes to policing or law enforcement, we are not just only talking about arresting people, we are looking also on to providing service such as source of sport. For example, like now we can see Jeremiah Shalawe from the Namibian Police Athletic Club, as well as Duviteko Salmi. They are demonstrating that one. And should Shalawe qualify, that means a lot for the police community as well as the nation at large, because it speaks of unity. That is to say, the law enforcement as well as the member of the public, because that's where we come together and celebrate as one Namibia and one nation. So it's a thing that I want to put it to the organizer or the company itself, that these are the people that you, or the athletes that you need to support in terms of marketing. When you are doing marketing, promote these athletes, whether at pamphlets or have them somewhere from time to time, because the moment you do that, many people now, they are beginning to learn about Shalawe. They are aware of Shalawe. They are aware of even Lavinia. She's not participating here. She won last week. She just recently won the half marathon, two ocean marathon in Cape Town. So these are the type of athletes that the company can rally behind, because the more they put weight, the more the company is also growing. So it's a strategy that I said about maturity of the event. That is to say, when you have elite athletes who are well known, who are doing pretty well, rally behind them, because that is where you get your company being respected. And your company being respected, or the name of the company, whatever event that you are going to host, that is going to be honored.
Yeah, that connects well with inspiring the next generation and growing the sport in Namibia. While we have a look at some of the runners that already made their turn in some of the shorter distances, I think it's a perfect time to go back to one of our interesting facts. Enoch Haufika will be running the 10 kilometer. He did win the Rossing half marathon earlier this year. He would definitely be one of the favorites for the 10 kilometer race today.
Yeah. There's a high probability of that. Very much high probability of that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's also on that same note, we have Swenya Pingpank. That's also the Rossing half marathon winner, also running the 10 kilometer for the ladies or the female category today. So both the Rossing half marathon winners is racing the 10 kilometer today and putting up their hands as favorites in the 10 kilometer. Yeah, and then we can go back to our race leader, our male race leader, Jeremiah, still running very comfortably. About an hour and 23 minutes into this race, you can see he's still running shoulders nice and relaxed. A smooth glide, as Hope would say. Just peeking over his shoulder there for a moment. But we do see both of our lead runners having a look at their watches every now and then to just make sure they are on par with what they set out to themselves, as they are not running in a group with another person to just make sure about the paces there. So it is quite interesting to see them just have a peek at their watches, keeping track of where they're heading to and what their times and pace is, to make sure they pace themselves well to keep this timing up and pacing up until to the end.
Yeah, you see what something I was speaking right now on Jeremiah is doing well, but you're gonna realize something said about the flat ground. Flat ground, there's no cheating. Yeah, there's no moment whereby the wind have to push you downhill or going a little bit downhill a bit, and then this is a moment where we can realize that running this marathon is just not a race, but it's a test of discipline, patience, and mental strength. If you don't have a mental strength, you will see yourself reducing the pace. Why? Because there's nothing pushing you. Your mind have to tell yourself that I need to keep moving. And that's why you can able to see that the gentleman is able to maintain a certain pace that we cannot say that is reducing pace right now. And I like one thing because at least we can see that the body is relieving itself, is sweating, which means that it needs more liquids. But again, on taking liquids, you need to be very tactical. You don't just take too much liquids because you might end up failing to finish because the time will be coming to complaints. So it's very, very much about discipline, and you can actually appreciate that. You can tell that these guys are well disciplined. And you can see that they have a good patience, and you can tell that there's a mental strength, which is actually matching with the department where the guy is operating under.
Yeah, and in marathon racing, they always say the race starts at 30 kilometers, around about 30 kilometers. That's where the race truly begins, because that's when the fatigue is starting to come in, and that's where like your mental aspect is kicking in. Kapuru, do you have any comments on that, if that is truly so?
Before we just come to the race of resilience, let me go back to, you mentioned something about keeping hydration and so forth. And earlier on we spoke of nutrition. Basically what normally used to happen in our programs, nutrition is one of the program itself. It's not just nutrition as nutrition, it's a program also, because you have to program everything. And also one key factors that most people do not understand, or that they undermine, for example, is that the resting time. Time is one of the defining factors in the performance of the athletes. Because why? The time plays a role in different categories. Category of resting. Resting as to say that you are done with your training, you needed now time to rest, and also time to rest while you are in the race. That is now a very much complex one. That is what most of the people terms as a relaxation. Yes, an athlete, you are on the run, but you are relaxing. Now that relaxation is also what we call resting, or probably recovery in other professional contexts. But in a layman's language, we can say is resting. You are running, but your whole system is at ease, but you are just floating. So that basically means what is happening with Shalawa. When you see his body language, it tells you that he have a lot to prove. Comes the 35-kilometer max, or the 30 kilometers where the marathon believed to begin the competition. That is to say, he will deliver. There's no doubt about it. And when you look at Shalawa, everything of him is a world class. His PB that he ran a few years ago in South Africa, Durban, it was 2 hours 11. Now, previously, that could have qualified him straight to the Olympic. But just because the late Kenyan athletes, the name now is just slept a bit after Kipchoge, the current record holder is from Kenya, is late now. The name just slipped my mind. The time that he set made the qualifying time very, very difficult. Yes, because the qualifying time in athletics, it depends on the world record. The same when it comes to even in sprinting, to qualify for 100 meters nowadays is very difficult, because first of all, it's the time. The record is very high. Secondly, you look also how many athletes in the world who are tipping under 10 seconds. So all those are time factors. So that's why I mentioned that time is very key. Time for resting, time for competing, almost everything is based on time. But sometimes we tend to treat our athletes in terms of preparation and readiness, the athletes needed their time. Yes, they needed their time to prepare and be ready for any events. But in this case of the Shaliahwe, I'm really short of words, because myself understanding from the position that I'm understanding, I can tell you certain things that have hindered me. My progress is one key is time, because you have time to go to work full time, and after work, then you also not have to proceed for training. Those are a very challenging situation. And right after even training, you are coming home and you have a family, you have to talk to, and you have to have all those kind of things. But after all, the time that that they are bringing is very surprising. Now you ask yourself, what if we could have training camp for these athletes? And back again to what I said about not quantity, but the quality. Company like Sanlam, that is where they can now come up to say that we are going to have a training camp for our athletes. Once you have a training camp, you are not only leaving your leaguers on the day of an event, but you are maintaining it. Yes.
Yeah, so just to get back to that world record holder, the late Calvin Kiptum, he set the world record in 2 hours and 35 seconds at the Chicago Marathon in 2023. This made him only the first person to run an official marathon under 2 hours and 1 minute. But Karupo, I think one of the words that we have to go to is balance. If we speak about going to work, going to training, running your family, being able to show up at events like this at full potential, looking at your nutrition, all of those things, you need to do it in balance. Your nutrition needs to be balanced. Your pace and how you go about it needs to be balanced. Your daily lives and your routine needs to be balanced. So I think that's one key word that we can take out of all of these conversations that we've had so far is balance is very important in being a elite athlete that has a full-time job, that wants to perform, that really wants to qualify, that really wants to represent their country. And I think that goes further than just our running athletes. It goes to athletes in general. Hope, what's your take on that?
Yeah, when you both are mentioning these things, I was trying to really relate it, because one person too was into this marathon. Although I was not yet really being on elite level, but I believe that one day you're going to read me a lot of times inside there. Right. So I feel like when it comes to this career, taking sports as marathon as a career, there's an abnormal sacrifice have to be taken. I would want to say pinpoint sacrifice. You might not have to, certain time you need to do some elements slightly neglecting, so that you can focus on something, because the same thing like if you are going to compete, you might actually need to see that sometimes you have to maybe go to the camping, which means that the family is slightly neglected, kind of, but it's not really neglected because we need to achieve something. So there's an element of sacrificing have to be done. You have to miss something to gain something. That's what's going to be happening a lot of times when it comes to mostly to balance relationships, because you're going to realize it that even in terms of the work, I'll be looking forward sometimes work need to give these guys time to go train, and then actually coming from work maybe to come, when you think you are coming to work, you are just told that, yes, say, please go home and rest. We say go home and rest. You understand? Because it's important for an athlete to love that. So as we are talking now, we can see in front of us, we are seeing the Jeremy is leading for the men. It's on the time is 1 hour 34. Which means that he's still holding up the beauty runs. So guys, this is beautiful, and we want to keep on cheering him. For those who are around the places, they must go out and just give him some cheers so that he can keep up with the energy. You get it? Yeah. And I think we are on the Sanlam Allianz Marathon taking place in coastal Swakopmund. So guys, this is beautiful. What can you say about that?
Yeah, as we see, Jeremiah is making his way back towards Swakopmund. He is about to turn off on the old Henties Bay Road. So if you are in the vicinity, I think it is time to make your way to the finish line of the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon, because Jeremiah is definitely making his way there at a very comfortable pace, really pushing it hard. He is still looking comfortable. You can see those shoulders nice and relaxed, the body posture nice and relaxed, in a nice glide. He's giving a comfortable, relaxed stride there. So if you're in the vicinity, we also saw earlier one of the a nice little group there from one of the clubs from Windhoek, the Windhoek City Runners. It's good to see the numbers from the clubs also growing. We also saw some of our 10-kilometer athletes heading back to the finish line. Big shout out to Lucy K. Rocco. She's wearing bib 2011, one of the NBC Sport presenters. So if you are in the vicinity or if you are close to the finish line, keep an eye out if you maybe see her, as we saw some of the 10 kilometers starting to head to the finish, but not just the 10 kilometers heading to the finish. If you are only joining us now, this is Jeremiah, the defending champion of the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon, making his way towards the finish line. He took the turn onto the old Henties Bay Road just a few moments ago. We don't have an update on the women's elite race as if just yet, but the latest we saw was Salmi was quite comfortably in front, but we did see Amwata and Beata chasing her, so that would be interesting to see what's happening towards the finish line for the women's race. But Jeremiah is quite comfortably running on his own, heading towards the finish line.
So you see, on this moment, if you check on the timing and the normal running for the marathons, mostly they say on this moment that the person, the body is not the body operating now. He's on a zoning position, whereby the mind, that's why you tell yourself that I'm a champion, I got to finish this, I got this, no matter what happened, I have to complete. And you can realize that when that position, with the state where Jeremiah right now is, even if you get an ankle twist, trust me, you don't feel it. You just keep pushing. You only feel it when you finish already, because the body is warm and you are targeting the goal. It's like you are seeing your gold in the air. You said, I got to get it, no matter how. So that's why you can able to see the mental discipline and the mental strength at this level. If you are not mental strength, if something happened there, you will not proceed. That's why you see, you cannot imagine that you are left maybe roughly with less than 20 minutes to go, or the less maybe, and then you cannot afford to lose it. On this moment, it's a do or die. So you can see the gentleman is really maintaining the beautiful pace, and that is wonderful. That is Jeremiah. He is doing well.
Not the gentleman on the bike, but Jeremiah that is running in front quite comfortably. Yeah, so in other words, Hope, what you are actually trying to say to us is after you hit that 35 kilometer mark, you're not running with your legs anymore, you are running with your head, if you can put it that way. Yeah, if I can throw it in there, like, I'm not a marathon athlete, but we do a lot of interval training, and that first 800 interval you normally do, it's like, how am I going to finish these intervals? But the moment you start that second one, if everything kicked in and you just start running and you're just like, this is a mind game. Like, if I win this mind battle, then I am winning this race. And I think this is what we can see from Jeremiah here. He's past that 30-kilometer mark, and he's just like keeping it so smooth, keeping it so comfortable, and you can see it's not just the legs running here. He's made that gears. It's like from first to sixth, and he's just smoothly making his way to the finish line.
Yeah, on this moment, that's why you start to remember what the coach told you now. You start to remember when the coach said, come for training, do what is right. This is what is right. Because if you ask him on this moment, he might not know what he's doing. It's like programmed. It's now just maintaining the mentality and communicating to yourself that I'm the champion, I need to reach this, I must do this because that is what I've been told. So it's like he's showing what he was trained to do on this moment. So that's why you're going to see that when if you check up the movement, you can see that the hand movement is consistent, and you wonder like how come how it's not thinking, it's natural. The nature is leading on this moment. So what can you say on that?
It's very, very interesting at this point and distance where he is now. You are mentioning quite interesting facts that that's where in most of the cases you hear coach shouting during training. They are not shouting because they are disrespecting the athletes. They are shouting because they are giving you lessons at a specific time and condition of the body as well as the mind, that how you are going to respond to challenging situations. So when you are distracted by the yelling and shouting of the coach, those are conditions that are being programmed out. That is, he mentioned, that is to say that you are going to have that strong mind that you will not lose it just because the pain is picking up, but rather the more the coach shouts, the more aggression you respond in your pace. So that is the trick part, but I don't want to give much of what, because myself, I'm a general sport practitioner, that is to say, ranging from hosting of events, performance of athletes and all other things. Certain things I might not just give it in the air or in the public, but yeah, those are certain tips that I can able to give. At the same time, talking to the events, talking about the event, I'm really glad for Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon and the company at large. But a free tip here. If you consider the government stand recognizing sport for the first time and rate it number 2 priority, that is very interesting, because the government rates sport as a second priority in the NDP 6. So this, I remember last year I was privileged to be in the working group on a sport as a sector, the task that the president put on to each and every sectors, like how we have to contribute to employment. And on sport, I was part of the working group that we were looking at that how we can able to use sport as a sector to create job opportunities. And these are one of opportunities that we can able to look at, because when we are hosting an event like this, you're not only considering the athletes. And I talk of the quality also of the competition. One of the qualities that bring the community. The community want to feel part of the event itself, not only the athletes. How do you do that? Training the community as volunteer in terms of martial and everything, or even support fan base to say that we are going to have this as an event. Itself, it should also have its fan base, because it's like a club. Yeah, it's not just a competition as a competition. It should have a fan base whereby when you are going to host this event, at least there are people who are coming to support the athletes. You train them what to do on that particular event, so that the members of the community feel ownership of that particular event. It should be a things of the event organizer. They are doing things, but the community, they are in isolation. That is not a sport, because in terms now of opportunity that we are talking, you miss out on the opportunity. Like in the community, there are a lot of people who are having now, who are equipped. NAS have started producing sport administrators, because the sport management course phase in 2017 at NAST, and they have produced a couple of graduates. Myself speaking here, I'm privileged to say that I happen to be the first honors graduate. So this is something that we are talking. But if you are not going to the community there to try to bring these people on the board, either building a fan base and support, you might literally miss out in maintaining the maturity, which I was talking earlier of the competition. But back to Shaliahwe, these tips that I spoken, I'm not going to go in details, but this distance way is about the voice inside. The voice inside to say what he used to tell himself when certain conditions during the training are happening. That's what matters there. And that alone is only the caliber and the capacity of the athlete. It's not one size fits all. So some of the athletes, when the coaches shout at them, they are demoralized. But the Shaliakwe that I know, knowing him in person, is a cool athlete and he's a person who's well disciplined. Yes, and he will do better.
Yeah, thank you for that insight, Karapu. When we speak about community, we would really want the community to work together. We just saw a while ago there some of the impatient people on the road. If you are out there, please do respect the athletes. It is their time to shine and they are really working hard. They work hard through the year for this one opportunity to be able to qualify for big events, especially our elite athletes. We still see Salmi in the lead there. And we did see Jeremiah take off that turn of into town, so he's making his way quite comfortably to the finish line. But yeah, we're still not sure about who the chasing group is for the elite women. We did see Beata a while ago and Otile as well. It would be interesting to see what the gap is there. But Jeremiah made sure he separates himself from the pack. We can see some of the 10 kilometers and probably some of the 21 kilometers making their way to the finish line. But he is cruising. He's looking like he just started off a training set, yeah.
Yeah, no. Because if you check up the pacing now, it's amazing. When if you look at it, he maintained the consistency that mostly a lot of people fail to do. And I like to say something small about these athletes. You see, when you're talking about this moment, this is about internal voice, right? We're not looking about internal voice. That's why I feel like a lot of athletes, they either break them or they can able to progress when you come to this moment. If you have internal attitude with the coach, that's why when you hear the voice of the coach say, Jeremiah, move, you feel like he's bothering you. It breaks you. But if you remember that words as an encouragement, you feel like I cannot die now. I cannot die now. I got to keep pushing. Why? Because that voice comes as encouragement and it gives you the energy. It makes your body more lighter. But if you have an issue or attitude with the coach, the body becomes more heavy. The speed reduces. Suppose the speed too. That's why the coaches always say, please guys, you need to learn to be obedient. You need to learn to be patient. You need to learn to be disciplined. This is now where the product of discipline comes out. If you always see the coach as a problem, this moment can be very difficult for push. That's why I see people can have, on this moment, a person having a muscle cramp. Sometimes these muscle cramps are not necessarily not because you're not training, because you have too much pressure in yourself. There's no encouragement. It reacts in a negative vibe. But on this moment, if you always see your coach as a positive person, the voice is the one which helps you to carry you through. That's what I can say for now. On that one.
I think also it's continuing that conversation, Hope. I think it is also important for the athlete to understand the coach and for the coach to understand the athlete, because a coach shouting at me might not wake up that fire in me. It might be like, it might make me feel like, oh goodness, what's going to happen? I need to do this, I need to do that. And then you completely forget about what is ahead or how far am I ahead and what my pace is. I'm doing so well. But for you, a coach shouting at you and giving you that, it lights up the fire. So I think that is where the coach-athlete relationship is very important, in understanding what is working for my athlete, and as a coach understanding what is working for my athlete, and for the athlete to make sure the coach understands me. It doesn't help you just there like, oh, please stop shouting on the inside, but you're not telling your coach to please stop shouting on the inside, because if we go back to, we've spoken about it quite a few times, that after 30, 35 kilometers, this gets such a mental race, or it is actually, at the end of the day, just a mental race to finish off a marathon and going into ultra marathons as well. But so you don't want that. You don't want someone to switch off a switch that is well on and that is that's comfortably going. And you don't want someone to come and cut that cable, that power cable. So I think that is very important to understand that relationship and to have that relationship, to be able to say, listen, please don't shout at me, or listen, at this 5 kilometer mark, if my pace is going down, you have to scream, you have to shout, you have to say these words to keep me going, to get that fire going. And I think it's so, I don't think everyone understands it, but speaking out of a professional athlete's mindset, it is so easy for that switch to be switched off. So it is such a mental battle when you have yourself in this position to keep going. And I think he's doing it very, very well here, Jeremiah. He's looking so comfortable. I think if we have to take this footage as he's running now and take the footage where he started off this race, it is, you can compare them, you can put these footages, you can put Jeremiah into each other, and it's just going to look the same. The way he started off and the way he's running now, he is so comfortable. You can see he is running. He set out the plan before this race, and he's running on that plan step by step, if I can put it that way. He had a few looks at his watch, but after that he just kept going. We can also keep an eye here on Salmi. She's still going comfortable. We did see Beata and Otile a while ago, but in this footage, we see no one chasing her at this stage. So Salmi in the female elite division and Jeremiah in the male elite division find themselves in the same position, quite comfortably in the lead so far.
Yeah. If you really check even the face gestures, you can see that they are good. They are maintaining it. There's no frowning. There's no hard first. You can tell the person been training is just doing what he's supposed to do. So I believe in this level. If you check the pacing on the ladies' side too, she's really doing well. She's keeping it up in a standard, in a classic way. Hands movements are the same style from the beginning on the end. You realize it, although these two people seem to train together, but the hand movements are different, which I believe they come back to the statement that you were saying about that one, you have to understand another person. They are doing both wells, but they're not running the same. You understand? So which I think is very important, because in this moment, if you convince them to do the different move, you might actually spoil a run. So which is important with the coaches to understand their people when they run. So I love that, because this is really, I remember some athletes, when they are running and you give them cheers up, yo, they increase the pace, you get it up. Others, they reduce it. So it's important really to understand an athlete, and as a coach to understand all these characteristics. It helps a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And then I was about to say, if you have a look at the shoulder movement between Salmi versus Jeremiah, you can see it's completely different movements. Yeah. But you can still say that Salmi is running very comfortably if you have a look at the running. Quite in lead. We see the water girls here. Really trying to give her some of the sweat bands there to make sure she's fine, to wipe some of the sweat off, but very comfortable there in the lead, taking a sip of water, making sure she's hydrated, heading towards the finish line. If we have to go back to her winning time in the Rossing Marathon, she crossed the line in 2 hours and 37 minutes. I think she's well on track to run around about the same time. I think as an athlete, you always want to set the bar higher, and you always want to better your own time. So I think she will be pushing to come in a better time than she did when she won the Rossing Marathon there. Karupu, what's your input on that?
I would still want to throw myself or to put my weight on coaching departments. Yes, talking of coaching departments that plays very pivotal role towards performance of athletes. What we are seeing here in front of the screen is as a result of coach commitment. But little do we talk of these departments. So I would like to put it, because it's like, again, for me, my emphasis is just for for the event to grow. How will the event increase or to grow in terms of quality? That is to say now that you recognize every key player within your, this event. For example, when we talk of coaching department, this is where you recognize not only the athlete, but the coach himself or herself. But how do you do it? You do not want to individual, because you are a company that are providing service to the public. Come up with a coaching clinics so that you can impact these coaches to have advanced skills or knowledge. But those who have got advanced skills and knowledge, they are coaches, clinics or courses, coaching courses that are all over the world. Sometimes that is where you come in as a company to say that, okay, in Namibia, we have got the vetted list is here. Who's our top coach in Namibia when it comes to marathon? What can we do? Where are the best coaching courses are offered? You look for those courses, sponsor this coach so that he can learn the best from the best. So comes back, this coach will put his skills onto these athletes. The performance of the athlete is what determines what rank or what stage of growth will the competition grow. Recently in Botswana, they are hosting World Athletic Continental at the golden stage. Back in the days, if I remember, it was just Gaborone International invite. We used to go and participate there. So these are some of the tips that I can able to share freely, so that we can improve holistically as the company, the athlete, and every key player in this. Back now to the performance of the athletes. These are testament to say what we're now talking of the relationship between the coach and the athletes, the approach of the coach towards the athletes, the approach, the response of an athlete towards the coach. Yes, learning each and every athlete's personal traits and characters is key towards improvement. There are athletes that when you shout at them, of course, you will switch off. Total, they will not even respond. But what do you do in that case? You treat that athlete as your own son or your own daughter. Bring this athlete, invite this athlete to your own living space. Talk to this athlete as a father will talk to his daughter or to his son. That is how also certain athletes respond. Comes to the days of what? Of competition. These are the same approach. Before the competition, you have a warm conversation, reminding of that. That is like you are igniting now the engine, so that this athlete is motivated. Motivation comes in different ways. There are those coaches we see, like even in football, there are those coaches who will stand on line to shout to the player. But then there are those coaches that we see not doing that.
Sorry, Karopo, I just want to interrupt you there quickly. Yes. We do see Salmi make her way onto the Old Henties Bay Road, but in the same breath, we just saw Jeremiah crossing the Plaza Meer, passing the Plaza Meer mall. So he is really, if we can say it, almost in that home stretch, that last few kilometers. We can see a bit of the pace maybe slowing down for Jeremiah, but he's still running very, very well. We did see before the Plaza Meer, he got some nutrition. It looked like one of his, like some of his support team, because he had it in a bottle specifically, took a few sips and handed it back to one of his support team members there. But he is still running quite comfortably. Like I said, it might look like the pace is a bit down, but you can see that forward, that shoulders leaning forward a bit more than what we saw. But he is really heading into that home stretch now. He is gonna find a bit of a little hill before heading downhill into the final stretch, but he is still looking comfortable, and he is quite comfortably still in the lead. Sorry, Karupu, for interrupting you there. And then, yeah, as we mentioned, Salmi made her way onto the Old Henties Bay Road, also heading quite comfortably in the lead to the finish line. We haven't seen any chases as if yet for both the male and the female leaders here. Hope.
Yeah, you are right. And it's in front of us, we are looking at Jeremy. Trust me, that actually is amazing. And I feel like he's left with some few kilometers, let's say some few kilometers and meters combined. Right, let's see. And you can see that the area changed. I could actually able to see the elevation that he was going a little bit uphill. You could see that is a disadvantage sometimes of running on a flat surface. Whenever you go in a little bit uphill, the body have to adjust to it. And you can see the gentlemen do well because you see that the body, the gesture, mostly on athletes when they are running, when you start to see them leaning forward, you can see that no, they cannot handle it anymore. But this gentleman is well trained. You can tell his core he have a very strong core. He's not being pushed to, his body is not changing because of it's not leaning forward or showing that the core is weak. He have a very strong core. And then you could tell, even though he was adjusting on the hill, he adjusted very well. So I'm looking forward for the greatness out of this guy.
Yeah, he is running very comfortably. We can also see Salmi still running comfortably in the lead. We don't see a lot of change in her posture, as we can say, if we have a look at that, she is still comfortable. Like we mentioned a few minutes ago, she has made her way onto the Old Henties Bay Road, heading back towards town, heading towards the finish line. So if you are only joining us now, it is Jeremiah with bib 174 leading the men's elite race, and it is Salmi in bib 147 leading the female elite race. Both of them strongly on their way to the finish line. Jeremiah is running a smashing time. We just hit the 2-hour mark there, running very comfortably still. Bit of uphill, as you mentioned, but he is running in a good posture. It must be all of the hills that they have to run in Windhoek for training, making sure he is well prepared to finish it off with a uphill and then a downhill.
Yeah, that is really amazing. Karupu, what can you say about the adjustment when you have been taking out for a long distance and then suddenly you are engaging into suddenly on the last minute and you have to engage on a high, up taking a hill? How does it feel?
That is a very tricky one, but I can literally say that yes. So I did sprinting events. I also participated in some of the road races like 10K. Yes, when you are approaching the uphill, that is where sometimes like the mental capacity always plays along. It's like when you are challenged, then you take that challenge as a positive. Sometimes you want to increase, but then that adjustment it's done in a way that you are not trying to change the range of your position, running position, by increasing, so that you try to use unnecessary energy that requires to change of the running system or position. You are approaching it in a normal way. You are not looking to the hill itself, you are looking to the running itself. Mm-hmm. The only adjustment that you have to do is a running position. You know that maybe your posture was upright, but now you are approaching the hill, you start to try to lean a bit. That's the only thing that counts. Not to say that you have to change the pace. The pace remains the same, but only the position of the posture itself, that is the only adjustment that is needed. But otherwise, Shalahwe demonstrated that one. We've seen there were no literal change of him trying to rush the hill or trying to slow down. He kept the pace. So the only thing that is adjusted, his posture. That is the trick.
That's definitely the trick, because that just shows you, that separates the elite from the people that do it for fun, because my pace definitely slows down when I hit the hill. I can't keep the same pace going uphill. So I think that would be quite difficult to maintain the same pace, especially after I had to run about 35, 38 kilometers so far and then going uphill. We did see Salmi also get some supplementation from her support team along the road, making sure she gets it in, and then Jeremiah making sure he gets enough of that liquids in, taking the whole 5-liter bottle, making sure he gets some last fuel in for this last few kilometers that's left for him. He has a support runner there by him, making sure he keeps up with the pace, making sure he keeps pushing until the end. Hope, would you want to run on your own, or would you want some support? Are you the one that needs someone shouting at you next to the road, or are you that one that's like, I have to fight this mini battle with myself?
Yo, I always like a backup. I like it when I'm doing activity, when I hear my voice, the voice of my coach. Why? Because I feel like my coach is like, I consider my coach like my father. So I love it. When he says something, when he said, "Hey, go do it, go do the best," I feel that last minute. Sometimes I can even bother him to try to just go listen to him before I get into any activity. So I do like it. I do like people's voices. Mostly if you're always training me, because I know what it means by this. So I intend to master voices. Yeah, so I do like it. And I'm seeing that. I see Jeremiah was having a backup there. Trust me, that sometimes is needed. Sometimes when you have someone around you, as long as he's not bothering, he's not talking at that moment, just maintaining your pace, it gives you energy. It's like there's a certain electrified energy that you can get because you know your position. This person is just taking you through. So it's needed sometimes.
So indirectly, that is the voice shouting at you without the voice shouting at you, if we can put it that way. It is that support system that is there next to you, actually screaming to you, let's go, let's go. He's pulling him without saying anything. And we just see that it did pull him a bit forward, and then he is still going strongly. We also saw Salmi is also still quite comfortably in the lead for the women's elite race. We can say we're really getting to the end of this race. Jeremiah making his way towards the end of the race. So if you are only joining us now, some of our 10 kilometers already finished the race. The fun runners, we do have the NBC's very own Lucy K. Rocco that went. Okay. We will be going on a short break. We will be back in a few minutes.
Before the stadium lights, before the commentary box, before the cameras rolled, there was dust. There was a ball stitched too many times, goalposts made of rocks, and the referee was just the loudest kid on the block. There was laughter on the open fields where the grass grew uneven, where barefoot dreams outran worn-out sneakers, where the sun didn't care about shade, and neither did they. Because this is where football was pure. Not for contracts, not for headlines, not for the trophies polished in glass cabinets, but for the love of the game. For the girl child who tied her braids tighter and refused to sit on the sidelines. For the boy child who practiced step-overs against invisible defenders until sunset swallowed the skies. This is where it all started. In the open fields, in the townships, on soccer pitch, we go back to the roots, back to the dust, back to the beginning. Because before football became a spectacle, it was a story, and that story still lives. This is soccer pitch. This is the love of the game.
this Saturday on MBC2. It's double the rugby league action. At 12:30, the United Gemsbokkies face off against Coastal Women in a battle for supremacy. Then at 15:45, the spotlight shifts to the big one. United take on the champions Kudus in a must-watch Premier League clash. Don't miss a moment, live on MBC2 this Saturday.
Are getting a right through, left through. The referee, close proximity, trying to see everything. Gitumbwa, at it again. Another victory. Victory!
Zero zero coming, 0-0. I think I see two twins with the tables, and I repeat, I think I see two twins with the tables, and I think it's number 2. I think it's number 2.
What's better than 1? 2. Get ready for Twin Turbo. Season 2 coming soon on NBC TV. Twin Turbo, double the power.
Back here in studio in Windhoek, of course, This is the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon. Of course, we do apologize for those technical difficulties that happened earlier on, or just not so long ago, regarding seeing some of those who finished crossing the line. Just an update that Jeremiah has won the marathon over there in Swako. Congratulations to him. I also have a couple of other winners. Daniel Paulus, who won the 10 kilometers run from Swako. Huge congratulations to him as well. Malakia Namukomba finishing second in the 10-kilometer veterans category. Just a few updates there from Swakop. But just to maybe bring it to my analysts who have been watching, we've been watching behind the scenes, and I must say, Gideon, what a race it has been across all the boards, really.
Yeah, I think it was very, very great, and the build-up from the start, with Jeremiah already leading the pack from the beginning. I think that's something that we should always be grateful of for what the body can do, and I think he really had a great race.
Apart from him, I mean, we touched on turnout. We saw the turnout is massive over there in Swakop. I mean, you see people running with their dogs, you see people running with their babies, which is really cool, right? To see that type of turnout, like you mentioned, like you're talking about earlier on.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the interest in the sport and the love that's growing in the sport. So, I mean, I think we're more than 3,000 participants that's taking part over all the distances. So that's something spectacular.
Apart from that, also looking at maybe just performances of individuals in their respective categories, what has stood out for you, particularly, Gideon?
I think one thing that's notable for this year's event is having one of those Pacers buses where, you know, someone can sort of challenge themselves by hopping onto one of those pacing buses. And we've seen the 42 that is being hosted by the City Runners, and a couple of them also. And I think one thing that stood out most of the time was that even when people are slowing down on pace, when they, you know, reach to someone who's a bit faster than them, they sort of try and encourage them and try and pick up with them. So I think we saw that in the last race with Jeremiah, having someone that's running with him, even not just conversating, as they mentioned. So I think that's one of the things that stood out.
Now, staying with Jeremiah, I mean, he's now back-to-back. He's really, you know, on his game. He's been doing this. Is not the first time. What does that say about his consistency?
No, Jeremiah has been dominating the 42 for a few years now. So he's actually, I think it would be nice to see if some of the guys that finished Rossing 42, if they could have challenged him a bit today, just to see how the field, the men's field, is actually growing. But Jeremiah is in a class of his own. I mean, to lead from start to finish 42 all on your own, that's an amazing feat.
Absolutely. And maybe just look at on the lady side of things from your end, Gideon. What are some of the maybe standout performances?
Yeah, I think we especially in the 42 category, we do have some of the elite runners who are very experienced in the 42. And we usually have favorites coming into this 42. But I think year on, it has been changing, especially for the ladies field. And we do have also the young people that are basically also getting into the game now, and it's very fascinating to see that year on we get new people that are always winning or trying to get to that first spot. So it's very encouraging, especially for the young girls that are trying to get into the sport also.
Absolutely. And like you were talking about as well, just looking in terms of, because this means some of these athletes go on and partook. We just had Lavini Haitope, who won the Two Oceans Marathon.
Yeah.
That's an example of somebody who starts off here and is able to compete internationally as well. That type of message is very important. Unfortunately, she was not part of this edition of the Sanlam because of the time between her and the Two Oceans Marathon. But maybe just to touch on having the importance of having a lot of these, such like the Sanlam Allianz Marathon, to be able to really go out there and to start there and go out of the country.
Yeah, I think one thing that we always miss out is that during these events, there's always scouting teams that are scouting you. So there's the big running clubs like your Nedbank running clubs, that's massive in South Africa, that's always looking out to get new talents. And for us, having a lot of these opportunities sort of just opens the door for these athletes to also get support. And we also need to rally behind our elite runners. I mean, it's very mental for one to run the whole race alone. And as we can see there, by the end of the race, their pace is sort of slowing down. They just need that extra push, that extra support. So I think we should also look into the thing of having pacers that, come in at a certain stage of the race to at least get a qualifier for the Olympics or something from a Namibian perspective.
Just to bring it back to Jeremiah, Peter, what if you look back at Jeremiah's performance, that early dominance already, like you said, he took the race, he owned it from the start. What does that say, and how important is that tactic?
No, you could see he had a goal in mind. Me and Gideon were talking. It looked like he was chasing the record actually, but then in the last few kilometers, it could have slipped away. We didn't get the final time now, but he looked very strong from the beginning. He looked like he had a strict goal in mind. That's why he didn't stick too long with I think the guy that was second with him. So yeah, I think he was really goal orientated today and really had a mission that he wanted to accomplish.
Now, just at the beginning of the show, we touched on, things like having competitors from across, our borders, beyond our borders, take part in this marathon. What does that say about organizing, the importance of organizing something of this magnitude, like the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon, to be able to pull it off and also then attract more, gets better and better with time?
Yeah, I think the great thing about Sanlam is a multinational organization. So I think one of the things that they could factor in more is sort of beyond the borders outreach within their regional offices. So, and also, I think the prize money would also be attractive. Looking at someone traveling from a neighboring country and looking at the prize money that's available. So it's something that's, the competition or the marathon has grown over the years, and I think they just keep growing. And with that also comes better pricing, better attractions for all those foreign runners.
Absolutely. Maybe just your take on that from a much more economical perspective, because we also have, people that go out there to the fact that there's a massive amounts of turnout. People are in Swakop at the moment. So it means that, from an economical perspective, that there's a boost as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, people are there, they're spending on accommodation, the restaurants are obviously full. So to have that and invite other elites, invite other running clubs, it doesn't even necessarily have to be elite runners, but reach out to the running clubs. I know Botswana has a strong running community, South Africa as well. So if we can reach out to them and have them join these races, come on board with their elite runners, so it's just it's bound to grow, and it's bound to spill over to better economical benefits as well.
Gideon, let's talk about, I mentioned Daniel Paulus. He won the 10 kilometers, also not a name that we are not used to at this point of hearing, of winning. Just what did you make of his performance?
The 10 kilometer is a very, very interesting race because that's where you get new winners every time. So it's up to how they sort of prepare for that, because it's a sprint from start to finish. So it's very interesting to see new guys coming into the helm, taking up, and also to also learn that these guys are also training with the already elite runners or the guys who have been winning. So it's more like a running community that they've created. And during training, there might be tussles here and there, but it all comes down to the race day. And whoever comes better prepared that day, feeling great, your body is well that day, takes the cake.
You touched on something, and I'm actually going to divert it to you because you touched on community and the importance of community in the marathon, fraternity, or just obviously in sport as a whole. How important do you think is it important for athletes, especially younger ones who are still upcoming in the ranks, to have the mentorship of the big names per se, to train alongside in these clubs, but also just from a much more mentorship perspective?
No, it's super important. I mentioned to Gideon as well earlier when we were watching the race. I had a race where I could talk a bit with Eric Goeieman, and that opens your mind to his experience, how you're experiencing the race, and then taking that back to your training community to share that experience with them. How was this race? How are you preparing for the next race? So a community is very important. Even though this is an individual sport, at the end of the day, only one man or one woman can take it, but your community is super important.
Well, gentlemen, we do have to give it back because our technical difficulties have been resolved. So we're going to cross it back to our amazing commentary team to continue with proceedings.
Very warm welcome back. We do apologize for the temporary interruption in our for the display of the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon. In the meantime, we did miss Jeremiah going over the finish line. We're still waiting for the confirmation of his finish time, but I think it was a very good time that he did run there. I'm not so sure if that was the time that he wanted to run, but he started off very strong and he kept that pace all the way through until the finish line. And we do see Salmi well on her way into that home stretch. Hope, your thoughts on her race so far?
Yeah, you know, the good thing with the Semi, at this moment, she sounds like she's going a little bit downhill. You can see the body gestures. She's swinging a little bit more than now she always do, but which I believe that she's pushing as the beginning. She got a beautiful stance of gliding, and I believe that if she maintains that way, she will be having a PB, if you're not mistaken. That's going to be PB. Here we go, and I believe that she's going to master the PB today. We are just looking on that side.
Yeah, as we wait for Salmi to make her way to the finish line, we did mention it earlier. She won the Rossing Marathon in a time of 2 hours and 37 minutes, and if she keeps the stride well on this pace, it looks like she will be bettering that time. The time she ran in March at the Rossing Marathon. We did mention the weather is playing its part today. A nice sunny day. As we have a look at the trees there in the background, I think it's safe to say there's not a lot of wind or wind factor in today's race. I think as an athlete, especially the elite athletes running the 42K, this is the perfect weather conditions. You couldn't ask for better weather conditions to run a full marathon.
Yeah. If you look at the Swakop, really, we are looking forward of that the breeze from the Atlantic Ocean side, and then again we are encountering the same from the Namib Desert. But today it's the weather is actually respecting the Sanlam Allianz Marathon, which I believe that it actually allows us to have some good personal best on the running. Mr. Shalake, what do you think about it?
Very well. When it comes to the point where we are now, or of the race that it matured now, that is difficult to say. Everything that is coming now to an halt or to an end, but what it means that victory. But what does it entail when we talk of victory? Victory without a performance is not victory. So that's why we are hopeful that if we take all Salmi, she will definitely push it to a new zone, that is to lower her time. In that case, is to achieve personal best. But for Jeremiah,
yeah, so we see Salmi just past Platz am Meer, the mall there on the right-hand side, making her way to the finish line. The last couple of kilometers for Salmi left. She is still well in the lead. We haven't seen any competition so far for the leaders, both Jeremiah that has already won the male department of the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon, and Salmi making her way to the finish line. We haven't seen a lot of athletes pushing them like we can see there in the white shot, that Salmi is quite comfortably running on her own towards the finish line.
You're right, and I can tell you something. On this moment, that is a moment of defining the purity and slightly purity. So this time it's a moment of the final touch. So that's why we see the final melted results. So on this moment, there is no more friendship. That's why we say to understand who is leading, who is taking over, who is the boss, who is the who. And this moment, the definition is already taken out. It's all about delivering it.
Yeah, we have final confirmation on Jeremiah's finish time. He has won the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon in a time of 2 hours, 12 minutes and 22 seconds. That is just the result of that pace. He started the race off and he continued running that pace. We did mention it looked like he might have had a bit of a slower pace at the end, but I still think what a time to finish a marathon in.
Guys, to me that was really something amazing. That is amazing, and I believe that he's actually kicked his personal best too. I hope he's celebrating right now. As other people are celebrating, I believe he's celebrating too, because that was really a good touch. Because if you check his crossing on 21 and then the crossing on 42, it shows that he's a very an expert guy in these things. So I think you just have to keep it up to maintain the standards. Consistency, as we mentioned. So he did well. He really did well.
Yeah, if we have to have a look at earlier this year in March, Matthias Simon won the Racing Marathon in 2 hours and 13 minutes. And as we confirmed, Jeremiah finished the line or crossed the line in 2 hours, 12 minutes and 22 seconds. Karupo, you did mention that he is really running hard for qualification. So you do have some insights and personal relationship with Jeremiah. So what's your thoughts on that finishing time from Jeremiah?
From my observation, just like because there are two things that plays a role. There's a time in the earlier stage that he missed, I think it was water point or something like that, where he a little bit got frustrated, but then he didn't change the pace nevertheless. But now it paid effects in the later, because in terms of hydration, that is why at certain point you could see is locked down, because the hydration play a pivotal role in muscles. If the athlete meet dehydration while competing, that's where the stiffness and eventually the pain of the muscles and also the bending of the heart and everything pops in. But from the time that he has finished, it's not that far from his personal best of 2 hours, 11 minutes and few seconds. So I can say he's still within the range of holding his head high to hopefully qualify for the World Championship in Budapest. So that is what we are believing in. And at the end of the day, we congratulate him for pretty well-deserved position. And it's not also not to say easy running all along by yourself, and we can see our streets are empty. When you look at other country, a marathon is something that you would love to have supporters all along the street, not just, we are talking of the desert and the ocean where they met, and it was all empty, it's only cars that are there. There's no support to chase. And this is what I mentioned earlier, that a company such as Sanlam, that's where we need, or where they need to start trying now to link up with a fan base, and so that we can start training these people in terms of support of the athletes, support of the event, support of the company, and everything, so that together as Namibian, in terms of sport community, we can grow this event to a high height that we all desire to see. Yeah, but with back to Nduviteko Salmi, she kept her consistency. As we can see, she's a person who really looking on to improving also our personal best. But that is what we are interested, and we would definitely work on them in terms of psychological and everything. We will try to collect data and everything, and also to motivate them very well to see that the next event that they are going to take place, especially particularly for Shaliahwe and even for Nduviteko, the ultimate goals that we want them to qualify, so that they can make Namibia proud at large. Yeah.
Yeah. So Karupu, you did mention that quite early in Jeremiah's race, he missed that 1/4 point, and he showed some frustration there. We also spoke about the importance of nutrition. What do you think that effect can be on an elite athlete? That missing the water point, the importance of nutrition, being a bit frustrated. Obviously, if you see the finish time, it didn't affect him. But if you speak about elite athletes in general, what do you think that effect can be on an athlete? Should it come to a point that frustration kicks in? Now I missed a water point, now I'm going to be behind with my nutrition, now I'm still frustrated about that, but not thinking about, listen, I have a next water point coming up. What do you think that impact can be on an athlete, Hope?
We have to be very, very careful because the impact can come in. I can take it in short. The frustration, what happened, the result of frustration while we are running, the body becomes stiff. The moment your body becomes stiff, the speed reduces. That's already complete, it's already a complete downfall. So, but then we need an athlete have to be very psychologically fit. That's why we are talking about when you're talking about running. It's just not like a marathon. It's not just running. There's a part of discipline. There's what called patience. There's what called mental strength. So you need mental strength. You need to actually quickly adjust in that disappointment and quickly turn it into a positive, so that you can able to progress. But the effect is already been seen. So then the mental fitness now is needed. So that's what I can say for now on basis on that issue. The mind have to be on a good stable, so that we can able to push any slight disadvantage. It can result into a final feedback.
Yeah, so a lot of conversations we've had today led us back to the mental aspect of running a marathon, to the mental aspect of being an elite runner. We said after 30 to 35 kilometers, you start running only with your head, the legs and the arms, and the body is just going with what you put your mind to. And the same comes back to, okay, I missed a water point, I'm feeling a bit frustrated, but where am I heading to? How am I going to finish this? What am I going to do next? How quickly can I adjust to what I missed and put in the next stage, but not overdo it? So it also connects with the conversation we had about balance. So there's so many important things happening in an endurance athlete's system, that it's so much more than just showing up and running that 42 kilometers. And that just makes the time like 2 hours and 12 minutes and 22 seconds so much more special, if we can put it in that words. And I think Salmi is fully feeling the same way. She did win the Rossing Marathon in 2 hours and 37 minutes. We do see the time is around 2 hours and 37 minutes at this stage, but she is well on her way in the lead on her own to the finish line. Just one or two more little hills in front of her before the finish line, but quite comfortably in the lead, as we see the Sanlam Allianz finish line, waiting for our first elite female runner to cross the line. The supporters that Karupa has spoken about quite a few times. We just need them to be spread all over. That's the request from the commentators here to support our elite athletes. But it's so good to see so many people coming together here. Hope.
Yeah, you see, I feel like I'm being concerned slightly on the timing of our winners today. You're going to realize that they are a little bit slightly up a bit compared to their previous time personal best, and which I think we need more competitors. We need people who can push a little bit more, allowing the competition. If there's no competition, a person can be mental fit, but there's no fear. So they're becoming internal relaxing, which is, because if you check the timing, it's not too far. It's very, very close. Maybe it's a difference of a minute. But that difference of a minute, if there was someone who was competing with you, you realize that you push a little bit further. Come back again to Sanlam Allianz. You can see the theme of this year. They say, pass your limit, lead by confidence. So for you to pass your limit, sometimes you need a push. Someone have to follow you. When you are being followed, you're going to see that you add energy. So yeah, I feel like it's beautiful. That was really beautiful, but somehow we need more competitors. We need people to be more in these games.
So I hope you're actually asking me, you were asking for a sprint finish to see some close matchups there. But we will probably get that in the fight for the second, third place. We're still waiting for that update on who's battling for the second and third place for both the male and the female categories, as the leaders has pushed themselves quite up in a class of their own, separated themselves from the rest of the field. We're quite looking forward to see who's battling for that second and third place. But it is, you rightfully mentioned that the moment you have that straight up competition, we're battling for that same spot. It's just as if you need to get into that extra gear. You need to make that shift to make sure, like, listen, we're running together here, but in the end, I want to be the first one to cross the line. That working in that group, and you mentioned it, working in a group, but the closer we get to the finish line, the less of friends we are going to be.
Beata.
Oh, as we see there in the shot, it is Beata running next to Salmi there. We just need to confirm with the bib number, but it does look like Beata running or just passing Salmi there. Hope.
Yeah, that is kind of amazing that I think we need to. It's amazing that it's throughout the way I was been trying to check it up Beata, but Beata was not appearing. Looks like she just appeared on the last minute, which is amazing. But it's my thread to why it looks like Sam is not really bothered. That I think something needs to be confirmed there, because athletes on that distance. Trust me, no one wants to be left just like that. I will not let you go. Just take over the number one. I got to follow you up normally, like I'm going to do or die with you. So, yeah, I don't know. But I feel like I like one thing, because everything is always being confirmed. But it's just only that I've been not been checking up. Maybe because they crowd a lot. And yeah, that is happening. But I'm seeing Biara, she looks like he's not bothered with that.
Yeah,
we
would just like need to get confirmation. As I say, we didn't see a bib number on that shirt. As Beata should be bib 136 with the papers, the documents that we did receive. So we will come back on confirmation with that. As you rightfully mentioned, Hope, that Salmi doesn't seem bothered by that at all. So we will get back to you with all the insights on that. But as we see, a lot of runners still coming in. We did say how this event has grown over the years, Hope, starting off with only 500, around about 500 entries in 2018, and Sanlam Allianz continuing to give the runners the opportunity, the platform to every year annually get together in Swakopmund, being able to run as family, as friends, as elite runners, growing from 500 entries in 2018 to over the 3,000 entries in 2026.
So in other way, you're telling me that, what we are all witnessing here is that Sanlam Alliance Marathon is actually giving to the community, right? In our community, because this is they have a lot of divisions where we're looking about from 42 kilometers, 21 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 5 kilometers, whereby we even able to see people walking with their pets, mamas pushing the premas for their babies. Other guys were even able to run while they are wearing officials like ties and suit, which means that this is really more family friendly and friends friendly, right?
Definitely, as we see in our shot there, all the happy faces for the people completing their run, whether it's from a 5 kilometer, and we have a finisher in the 42 kilometer already. The male winner, Jeremiah, has crossed the line already in a time of 2 hours and 12 minutes, 22 seconds. We are waiting for our female winner to still cross the line, but it is definitely an opportunity created by Sanlam Allianz for the community to come together. We see in the shots there, everybody so happy for crossing that finish line with their medals, laughing, posing together, having a great time. And that's what events like this is all about. It is about the opportunity for the elite athletes to put up their hands, to put their name in the hat to compete in the world on world stage and to compete internationally. That's also what it creates. That from here, if you win the elite race, you put your name to run the Sanlam Cape Town Marathon later this year, and if you finish as a winner in the half marathon category, you travel to Botswana to race there. So I think this is a massive opportunity for we see Salmi making her way to the finish line, and she will cross the line there as the winner of the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon in 2 hours and 44 minutes and round about 19 seconds. Well done to Salmi for winning this race, coming off as the champion in the Rossing Marathon and putting up her hand in this Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon. She was the favorite coming into this race, and she made sure she crosses the line as the favorite and winning the female elite race. A very big congratulations to Salmi there.
That was really amazing. This is a good push. I think that's really good. I think we're just gonna be checking up on the situation on what is coming up on the finals, on the timing and everything. But really, this is good. That was a good push, and I hope to see more of this.
Yeah, that was a good push. We said we will confirm about Beata there, the face we saw next to her, and we do see Salmi as the winner. We will still get back to you with a confirmed time. But your thoughts on that race, Karupu?
Wow. For Salmi, it's actually interesting. We can able to let us say to congratulate her once again, because it's all about belief. That, like I mentioned earlier, when you look at the pace that she was just maintaining her pace, and it was the pace not to say that's of a competitive one, but rather that one of walking out of the race free from injury, but we bearing in mind that
Apologies there, Karupu. We are going to head over for a crossover there for an interview straight from Swakopmund, straight from the finish line from the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon. Apologies, we are still waiting to get in contact with our crossover. As we see the replay there from Jeremiah making his way to the finish line. He has already crossed the line as the winner of the elite men's race in a time of 2 hours and 12 minutes. We also, a few moments ago, saw Salmi crossing the line as the elite female winner in still unconfirmed, but 2 hours, 44 minutes and a few seconds. So big congratulations to both these winners. We do see some of the fans there. How great is that? We have spoken about the community and people coming together. How great is that to see the people and the crowd taking pictures with Jeremiah there?
Trust me, the community loves this. And the good thing is like there's nothing so beautiful being with our own people, celebrating, doing the great things from the beginning before they go international. So this is really good. And you can see that the community, they are very happy, really. They are celebrating. This is good. And it's actually a good site for socializing. This is a site where people are meeting to people who are into have the same goal for fitness and being part of the athletes meet.
Yeah, we did speak about inspiring the generations, and I think this is a great platform to inspire. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be inspiring the youngsters or the up-and-coming people, but it is inspiring the person next to you to also be active and to also participate in events like this. And we mentioned a few of the oldest participants, and both the marathon and the half marathon race, the oldest male athletes are 69 years of age, and in both our marathon and half marathon athlete or racers. The female athletes are 64 years. It's quite an incidence. We did mention about the burp numbers. Both our elite race winners had the numbers 1, 4, and 7 in the race burps, and in both the categories, our oldest members are 69 and 64. So it's quite interesting. So it's about inspiring the person next to you, and it's about inspiring the person that's at home, maybe feeling like I'm locked inside, I don't know where to go, and it just shows you what opportunities there is out there, and how much better to say, listen, maybe some of those people put up their hands and attended their first race ever, and you have the opportunity to interact with the elite men's race winner.
And imagine that in the country we got some grandmasters, and we got masters, we got veterans. So this is really good, which means that it's actually we are involved. The country at large is getting, the athletes are involved at a large space, which is mean that we have all the generation within our athletes, which is something that it shows that we're actually developing up a healthy nation, whereby people are into, we find some grannies are into running, which is so beautiful, which is actually build up that a complete community. It is definitely beautiful, and this actually refers directly back to having a look at just over 500 entries when this event started off in 2018, and looking at a massive number. If you put it into context, over 3,000 participants in this event. If you take the numbers in our country alone, 3,000 participants is quite a large amount of people coming together to be active, to socialize, to say, listen, I put up my hand. Some of them might have been walking, but that's their way of being active. That's their way of saying, listen, I'm going to get out there. That's their way of maybe spending time with friends and family. Yeah, and people are building a very beautiful community of athletics. Because imagine now we got a mass number, which is like 5,000. People don't know each other, they come together, and then facing a common goal, or which is of running, which means that it's not only, it's actually cutting the medical bills somehow. Because imagine if you go work and run 5 kilometers, you come back, if you are stressed, stress is down. You are celebrating the completing of the race. You are happy that you burn some calories. Oh, something beautiful, really. Yeah, most definitely. We are just going to cross over to the studio right now with Michelle. She's got a few insights and chats with the analysis ahead for us.
Before the stadium lights, before the commentary box, before the cameras rolled, there was dust. There was a ball stitched too many times, goalposts made of rocks, and the referee was just the loudest kid on the block. There was laughter on the open fields where the grass grew uneven, where barefoot dreams outran worn-out sneakers, where the sun didn't care about shade, and neither did they. Because this is where football was pure. Not for contracts, not for headlines, not for the trophies polished in glass cabinets, but for the love of the game. For the girl child who tied her braids tighter and refused to sit on the sidelines. For the boy child who practiced step-overs against invisible defenders until sunset swallowed the skies. This is where it all started. In the open fields, in the townships, on soccer pitch, we go back. Back to the roots, back to the dust, back to the beginning. Because before football became a spectacle, it was a story. And that story still lives. This is Soccer Pitch, This is the love of the game.
This Saturday on NBC2, it's double the rugby league action. At 12:30, the United Gemsbokkies face off against Coastal Women in a battle for supremacy. Then at 15:45, the spotlight shifts to the big one. United take on the champions Kudus in a must-watch Premier League clash. Don't miss the moment, live on NBC2 this Saturday.
Getting a right through, left through. The referee, close proximity, trying to see everything. Gitumbwa, at it again. Another victory.
Victory!
Right, we're back here in studio from Windhoek because the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon just in Swakopmund, and we do know that we have the team on the ground over that side. So we're now going to cross over to Jeanette Trauses, who is our senior sport producer and also over with the team that side. Jeanette, a very good morning to you.
Good morning to everyone in studio. Good morning to the audiences as well. We are coming to you live from the Sanlam Allianz Marathon here in Swakopmund. Rather beautiful weather. First it was a bit foggy, but now the sun is out, and of course we've already have our participants take part in the various race categories. That is the 42.2 kilometers, the 5 kilometers, the 10 kilometers, and of course the 21 kilometers as well. Now standing right next to me is Nanda, who took part, and Nanda, just talk to us about your preparations before the race.
Hi, I'm Nanda Tangani, all the way from Windhoek. Actually, the marathon wasn't easy. It's my first time doing 21, and my competition was around about 2 hours 30 minutes. So I did 2 hour 20. So it wasn't easy. So I started losing endurance, but I had to go. I had to keep on pushing, and I did my PP, which was 2 hours 20 minutes.
So you can say you've met your expectations.
Yes, yes. So hopefully next time I'm going to bring it down to 2 hours 10 or so. But it was good. Appreciate it.
So you were with your nephew here as well. Come here, baby. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Tell me, how did you prepare for your race?
I did squats and everything, and I did my first ever 5 kilos.
How do you feel about that?
I feel proud.
All right, congratulations. We're so proud of you too.
Thank you.
Right, so we still have more participants. If you can just follow me this way. And hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Right, tell us in what race category you took part in.
I took part in the 5-kilometer race.
Are you proud of yourself? How do you feel about your performance today?
Well, I feel good, but I think I can do better next time I try to run again.
Wonderful. So for next time, you're going to improve and come back again?
Yeah, I will.
Wonderful. So we have the beautiful ladies here who are also going to talk to us about their race today. Ladies, please come. Do stand next to me. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Can you please introduce yourself, and then you can tell us in which race categories you took part in?
My name is Maria Ipinge. I participated in 21 kilometers.
And how do you feel about your performance today?
I feel very good. I did very wonderfully good. Yes.
All right. Now, please do tell us your name and which category you took part in.
My name is Nalao Johannes, and I did 21 kilometers. This was my second 21 kilometers ever, and it was so wonderful. The only part we started a bit late, so Sanlam can do a little bit better on that, because it was sunny. Coming back was a little bit hard, but yeah, we did well. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Perhaps you can also talk to us about your performance today.
Thank you. My name is Helen Haipinge. I did 10 kilometers. My performance was so beautiful, and this is my first marathon. This is my first medal, so I'm proud of myself. And from here, I'm going to clock 21 kilometers. Thank you.
Thank you. Now tell me, before you go, how did you build up the confidence to take part in this marathon?
Thank you. I used to train Monday to Friday after work, 5 kilometers. And Saturday, I train 10 kilometers. So that really boosts my confidence, and just to have an eager that I'm going to do it. If someone can do it, Helen, can I also do it?
Yay. Thank you so much, Helen. Okay, so we have more beautiful ladies right here. Please come stand here. We want to see the beautiful sun on your face. Just talk to us about your race today.
Yes, so I did a 10K, and it was beautiful, exciting. Although the sun came a little bit in, but yeah, the pace was good. The pace was good.
Thank you so much. All right, how are you?
Doing good, and you?
I'm good, thanks. Just talk to us about your preparations for ahead of today's event.
Actually, there was none. There was none. My friends actually forced me, but the vibes are great. It was high. You don't need any confidence, nothing. You just need to show up and everything will go there for you. It's just great to see Namibia as it is. It's so much fun.
Now tell me, somebody who's never done a marathon before, what message do you have for them? What if they need experience? What do you have to say to them?
Just show up. The starting line, you already won in life, honestly, in the marathon. Just reaching the starting line, you already won. So that's all I have to say to them.
Thank you so much. All right, we have one more lady for you. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Noah, and I just did a 10-kilometer run.
How do you feel about that?
No, I feel good. It's not the first time I'm doing it, so I'm used to the run. Just the same old, yes.
How would you pick your performance compared to today and all the other races you've done before?
It's the same because it's always the same route. It's just the weather that would either play a role. But then other than that, today was okay. I was just normal, just 1 hour as per the usual.
Thank you so much. Well, you've heard it from the participants themselves right here at Sanlam Allianz. I wish you were here because the vibes are amazing, like the participants just said. We're going to cross over back to you guys in studio.
Well, Janet, you couldn't have said it better. I wish I was there too, honestly. Indeed, the vibes do look immaculate there. Janet, with that update from Swakopmund as the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon just wrapped up in terms of course, the race in itself. Now, just another update. Both of the winners, both the men and the women, unfortunately are unable to speak right now on camera due to the fact that they are getting some medical attention. I mean, running 42 is not a joke. I mean, it looks so easy probably, but it must be very, very difficult. So just to bring it back to my analyst here in studio with you, Gideon, touching on, I was just saying, 42 looks so, it looks like, yeah, they just did it because other people are doing it. But it does really feel like, sometimes you see these people that are about to faint or faint, How does that really look like?
42 is it's a very long distance. You're shy of 50. If you put it into context, that's almost running from Windhoek to Okahanja. So it's a very massive distance. And as the commentators have mentioned, if you miss your hydration points, that's definitely going to take effect in you. And after 30K, that's when you have acid buildup in your legs. And if you did not train properly, you are definitely going to feel it. And as you've seen there, Salmi coming into the finish there, you can see the moment you stop, that's when your body takes over. So, yeah.
Speaking of Salmi, Pingana, you know, I mean, she's so incredible. She just won the race there in Swakopmund. What did you make of her performance overall?
Yeah, I think that it's amazing performance to be back-to-back winner. You were here a few months ago with the Rossing Marathon, now you're back again on the same route. So that in itself is a mental challenge. Knowing you've already done this before, you know what's going to come, you know the challenges that are out there that's gunning for you. And to have that drive to actually want to be first and also to claim your prizes. So it's amazing. It's amazing what she did today, and to lead also as well from start to finish. So well done to her.
Just look at how she indeed performed, and Salmi Pingana and Duviteko there, the winner of this year's Sanlam Allianz Marathon, of course in Swakopmund, finishing, look at that time, 2 hours. 44 minutes, I suppose, right around that time. Gideon, that time, splendid, really.
It's a very massive time, really. Not every athlete gets to do a sub-3. So once you get into that sub-3 zone, you are very much beyond everybody. And you can see her tears of excitement there when she came into the finish line. It was really, really massive. You can see by her facial expression that she fought so hard, and I think we need to congratulate her. And it's not easy to always get a PB after like an immediate race, as Peter mentioned. So it's really great that her time, there's not so much difference between her previous time and the current time. And I think she'll just be improving from there on. So yeah, it would be great to see her back again next year to sort of defend her title.
Indeed. But just to touch on PBs, I think a lot of times we also, as much as athletes do want to compete to win, they are at times also aiming to beat their personal best, the records that have been put out, whether it's national records. But these, we understand that there are aims more than just winning the title that come with when the athletes go out and run.
Yes, no, exactly. Your biggest competition is the man in the mirror. So, and looking back, if you know you can run a certain time and missing that time by a few minutes, you do feel it. So that is your biggest competition at the end of the day, to beat besides the first places, besides the prize money up for grabs, besides the competitor next to you, your main competition is usually yourself, and that's through the bank to everyone, social runners as well, elite runners as well. You always want to beat your own time.
Well, Gideon, just maybe to touch on, I love the fact that we spoke to some of those youngsters. You saw some of those youngsters, and one of the ladies saying, you know, she didn't even plan, she just came out and joined and went with the flow, and she loved it. But you can tell that people really are enjoying this, and it's really becoming sort of one of the only times that Namibians really, really come together from different backgrounds, from different towns that really come out and partake, eh?
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, it takes only one step, which is basically getting to the starting point. We've all been there when we didn't have no race plan, we didn't understand what pacing is, no proper shoes, no proper hydration. But through that community, you get to learn, you get to sort of understand, this is what I need to do, this is how I need to plan. And it's amazing that we always have novice runners that are very much excited compared to people that have already been running. So it's great to see that it's evolving over the years, and yeah, it just keeps getting better, and it's exciting, and we're always excited to see people that are always happy after a run.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just maybe your future that you are hoping to see from here. It's not the first time, like you said, we've had marathons are the thing now in Namibia. But just maybe if you, from somebody who has been in the game, you know, if you are comparing from where it started or how it looked like, let's say 10 years ago versus now, you know, what does that really look like for you?
Yeah, the growth is, you can really see it, it's evident from 10 years back when we grew from 100 participants to 500 participants to now to 3,000 participants. So the growth is really spectacular, and it can get better. We haven't reached the ceiling yet. There's still so much room for improvement. things that we see when we travel to South African races, that's happening there. So we can still do a lot more, especially with water tables, making sure people don't miss hydration stations, having 3 water sponsors next to each other. It doesn't have to be just one gazebo, one water table. They can be 3 next to each other at one point. So just to make sure that even if you miss the first table, there's still 2 tables that you can grab water from. So there's still a lot that can happen and that should be done to make our races just better.
Gideon, he touched on water points. I think a lot of people, when we think about a marathon, it's the entirety of whoever the sponsor is, but then it's usually a teamwork thing. There are other companies, there are other corporates, there are other institutions that, that are part of the water points that come on board. Maybe can you just lay out that how that structure actually looks like for somebody at home who might not really understand, to say that there's a Sanlam Marathon, but then they see the water point is another institution. What does that really, how does that work?
Yeah, there is so much that goes on behind marathon preparations, and we are grateful to have sort of social corporate responsibilities for most of the companies. And with every marathon, there is engagement that's ranging from the municipalities to the companies that are involved, to the safety officers. So a marathon takes, what you see that's happening today took roughly about 6 months beyond planning and engagement, and sort of companies coming on board with different sponsors, which is also branding for them, and it's also marketing for them. So they do get that platform, and there's also a little bit of competition within there to sort of award the best water station. So that's also something that's sort of improving to sort of, for you to be awarded the best water station at the marathon, it's like a big thing now also.
Yeah, no,
So,
I mean, it's, if you open right now, Facebook or Instagram, a lot of those clips of the water stations, competing as to who's dancing the best, who's treating the runners in the best way possible. So that being very true. Gideon, I wanted to just bring it to you now again, just talking to on the importance of marathon running, but I want to lead it now to competing outside, because we do know that from here, like we say earlier today, we're talking about things like the Comrades. 2 oceans already passed by, but we have several others that as the year goes by, a lot of some of these athletes and runners will be taking part. So how important is it from home to build from here on going up?
Yeah, I think we're in peak marathon season. London Marathon is tomorrow on Sunday. And then in a month's time, we have the Cape Town Marathon, who's also competing to be a major. And then, so marathon season is wide open. So everyone is looking for events to participate outside the borders and to give themselves that step up to the next level, to run with elites and to really push themselves. Like we saw today, like Jeremiah, he ran below his personal best, but he was really pushing hard, but he was pushing alone. So if he can link up with bigger events and run with competitors that are a little bit faster than him, to just push him to the next level as well and qualify for world champs and Olympics and other events like that.
Absolutely. Well, we are now going to take a quick break, and when we return, we will be wrapping up with this year's edition of the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon. Don't go anywhere.
0-0 coming, 0-0. I think I see two twins with the tables, and I repeat, I think I see two twins with the tables, and I think it's number 2. I think it's number 2.
What's better than 1, 2? Get ready for Twin Turbo. Season 2 coming soon on NBC TV. Twin Turbo, double the power.
This Saturday on NBC2, it's double the rugby league action. At 12:30, the United Gemsbokkies face off against Coastal Women in a battle for supremacy. Then at 15:45, the spotlight shifts to the big one. United take on the champions Kudus in a must-watch Premier League clash. Don't miss the moment, live on NBC2 this Saturday.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. This is a special edition of Sport Breakfast Show right here from the capital in Windhoek Studio 2 of the Sanlam Allianz Coastal Marathon 2026. Now, of course, in studio, I've not been alone. I've had two gentlemen who have been really on this journey with me, as well as our commentary team, just really taking us through this, what they make of this year's edition. So we're going to wrap up. Gideon, I just want to start with you. You know, overall, if you just look at the, because I did ask you what you're expecting, right? Now I want to ask you, your expectations were met. Like, what you were saying, this is what I expect, is that what really unfolded today?
Yeah, no, today really went great. And I think we should commend the Broadcasting Corporation for basically having us go live and having that event televised, which is something that we always look forward. I mean, we always look forward to have something to post, something to basically look back to. And I think overall the event was great. We haven't heard of any issues that happened. If there are issues, then definitely going to be updated on that. But overall, I think we had a great turnout. We had a great event, and people are going to have a great time in Swakop, spending time at the restaurants, at the beach, and yeah.
Well, Peter, finally, just from you, if you had to just look back at today's edition of the marathon, you know, wrap up, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I think the team can give themselves a pat on the back. Sanlam Allianz, they put up a really good show. It looked really, really well organized. So well done to them, and then especially to the Broadcasting Corporation for showing us and having us here today. This was an amazing experience, and to watch the race live, that was really nice.
Absolutely. I can say to us as well who were here in studio watching on our screen, just really incredible indeed. Well, gentlemen, Gideon, thank you so much as well, Peter, for coming by and sitting along on this journey. We do this again next time, but thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And this is where it ends off here from my side and the rest of the crew here from Studio 2. You are watching the Sanlam Allianz 2026 Coastal Marathon live from Swakopmund, but this is where it ends off. We do have to officially say adios. We do this again next time. It is adios.